afternoon. I'm Isaiah Jacob. The Browns wrapped up the preseason last night with a 37-13 win over the Patriots. Dylan Gabriel looked fantastic, completing 12 of 15 passes for 186 yards, 3 touchdowns, all coming in the first half, though no starters played. The Bengals wrap up their preseason tonight, taking on the Eagles in Philadelphia at 8 o'clock. The Guardians are riding a 7-game win streak and return home tonight to host the Kansas City Royals at 7:10. Cleveland just 2.5 games back in the AL Central and is holding on to the final wildcard spot. For the Reds, they're back in action this afternoon, opening a new series against the Cubs at 2:20. Rhett Lauder gets the start for Cincy. This update brought to you by Roosters. Roosters giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences, tickets, sideline passes, and trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Register today at roosterswings.com.
It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
So where's the office, back at Division? In the office, baby. Going up.
And here we go. Welcome back in to another edition of Rothman and Ice. I'm Matty Ice. TLC in the house per usual on the board. And to my right today, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Austin Ward. A-Dub. Happy Friday, my man. How you doing?
Beautiful Friday. Awesome to be in here. And apologies to you, TLC, and Columbus that JP is not in this chair. The bar is too high, but I'll do my best.
Listen, it's been a week of goats in here, okay? Joshua Perry, Justin Zwick, and now Austin Ward. Happy Friday to you, man. Always good to see you. This is the best time of year. We got a lot to get into today. Lot to get into. Here's what we got coming out of the kitchen for you this afternoon. 12:30, bottom of this hour, college football analyst for CBS, former Washington and UCLA head coach Rick Neuheisel. He'll hop on, preview the college football season with us. You don't want to miss that. 1:30, Sam Monson from the Check the Mic podcast does an awesome job covering the NFL. We'll tap into the Browns, Bengals, and a lot more with him. And then at 2:30, Guardians got a big series against the Kansas City Royals over the weekend at home. Jensen Lewis will join us in our Chin Music segment. You miss any of that? Don't worry. You can always catch up wherever you get your podcast. Just type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 will be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the podcast as well. What's been up, man? I know you got to be grinding right now, brother.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of podcasts that they can also check out on 97.1 The Fan right there from me and Berm.
Yeah.
Beat's been busy, had the mailbag open this morning, so I can tell that everybody out there around Ohio, everybody watching on the YouTube channel is fired up for 8 days from now, 12:30. And we now get to say next Saturday. It's not just September 5th, somewhere way down the line. Like, we are so close. You know, real live college football tomorrow, which is great, but we're so close to having the Buckeyes back. So just, you know, cranking out all those daily shows and a lot more. And we're ready to ramp up next week. Was talking with TLC about, you know, the Tuesday hits to be in with, you know, you and Anthony starting next week with Ryan Day on his normal game week media schedule.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I mean, get through camp. It's a grind for the players, first and foremost. That's the most important part. Yeah. But just trying to, you know, when we don't see a ton, we saw those first 3 practices, and then it's a couple scrimmages. Those are closed doors. You're trying to figure out what's going on with the depth chart and everything else. Everything is out in the open starting next Saturday, and I just can't wait.
Can't wait. TLC, what's going on with you, man? How you feeling today?
So next week, I'm moving from, so I'm moving apartment. It's just from one apartment to another, so it's not like.
Same complex?
No.
Oh, a whole new complex. Gotcha.
Yeah, just moving in with a buddy of mine who's charging me like almost nothing. So I'm like, you know what?
Seems like a good deal.
Yeah, I'll take that. So I think moving is one of the worst things in the world. The good news is that I have like multiple places. Like, he doesn't have a roommate right now. So like, if I need to move stuff in periodically, I can. Yeah. My parents live nearby. I can like store stuff at their place and then take it over to his place. So I got a lot of options. But the next week is like, all right, no more messing around. Like, we actually got to like get the stuff moving out.
Because it's going to be crazy for all of us in the next few days, man. We got high school games popping off tonight. TLC, what's our game of the week right here on The Fan?
I watched a Ryan Baker video yesterday. I can tell you Watterson's in it.
Okay.
It's either pick North or pick Central. I'm pretty sure it's pick Central.
It's Central because my North Panthers take on St. Ignatius tonight.
In that case, you know what? We cracked the code one way or another.
There it is.
Watterson and pick Central.
We got some great coverage of high school ball right here on the Fan. You don't want to miss that as well. AW, you mentioned the game next week. I looked ahead at the line for the Buckeyes in Ball State. A nice 50.5 in favor of the old Buckeyes next Saturday at home. That's not surprising to anybody.
Pretty large spread.
Yes.
I think it's interesting when you are considering how that's going to look next week, because Ohio State and Ryan Day, how do you want to balance a tune-up opportunity?
Yeah.
Because if you're going full bore for 4 quarters, 50 points would not be enough. We all know that for Ohio State. How much do they want to show next week? How much does Arthur Smith want to tip his hand with Texas the next week? Matt Patricia, we know one way or the other he's going to have another defense set up for Arch Manning in Texas. But, are you just trying to get in and out of that as healthy as possible? How many players do you want to see? Yeah. I'm not trying to influence the line one way or another for people who are confident about it, but I think that is...
Yeah, people are making bets right now based on what you're saying.
Oh, no.
They're like, Austin's plugged in. He knows what's going on.
But I can't imagine that that's really going to be a huge point of emphasis for them next week.
I agree. You mentioned Arthur Smith, right? We know what's on deck after the Ball State game. It's Texas. It's kind of like I'm looking at next week. Like a new restaurant gets open. You maybe get the initial invite to a taste test.
Yeah.
The limited menu is going to be next week. We don't need the whole thing. Because, look, no disrespect
that's
to
the
Ball
best
State.
way of saying vanilla game plan I've ever heard.
Correct. Like, that's what it is.
By the way, what are we doing in life wrong? If Matty Ice is getting invited to restaurants pre-opening taste tests.
They know that he's got that refined palate.
Yeah, I guess.
I've been to 2 of those in my life.
That email.
I've been to 2 of those in my life. And they are pretty cool. So you go and you get a little glass of champagne when you walk in, yada, yada, yada. It was bougie. It was bougie. I had a great time. It was real bougie. I had my pinky up when I was drinking that champagne, too.
Course.
By the way,
drinking out of chalices.
But I think between you mentioned some of the new faces we're going to see, new energy just in the shoe itself, new turf, new food, the sweets. You've been over there. For the folks that haven't been able to go inside the stadium just yet, talk about just some of the new things happening in-house.
Yeah, it's still the horseshoe, but it is going to be an adjustment for people. You have the hospitality suites. You've got, I think the turf looks great. I didn't think... I heard people complaining the last couple of years that it looked pink. I felt like the one that they had replaced and they had the last couple of years looked fine, like aesthetically pleasing. The one that they had to replace before that was getting pretty faded. And so I think this one is more about, the safety concerns that were raised. Also, you have the ability to zip in and zip out those end zones and maybe make them look a little bit different. Got some different food options on display, but I don't think for the most part that you're going to go in there and be like, this no longer feels like the horseshoe. This isn't Ohio Stadium. This isn't a cathedral of college football. All that is still there. And some of the tweaks, you can see them when you're looking at the suites and you're thinking about, but a lot of the others like club suites and 1892 club, they're not going to be really visible out there. So I think everything is in good place. And Maddie, allegedly, the Wi-Fi is going to work better. So that will be
here for that.
Very encouraging for me and Berm to get that content out, and probably for 100,000 other people who might want to keep tabs on other games or actually be able to send a text message.
Yeah, because I'm going to games over the years, like I'd walk out of there and you clear out, get to your car, and it's like ding, 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 ding. Just all the text message and alerts start coming through. But yeah, like you talked about the new look stuff in house. It's part of the game, man. You got to do it right around the landscape of college football right now. Finding different ways to generate interest, generate financial things as well that could benefit your program. I think Ohio State's done a good job of keeping up with those things. I think it benefits the players, the fans, and everybody involved to keep this momentum going.
And no one is ever going to be 100% happy about it. I think Ross Bjork has one of the more challenging jobs. I mean, this is not news. Being the athletic director at Ohio State is one of the hardest jobs you're ever going to find. But within that, you have to thread the needle of maintaining the traditions, maintaining what people are accustomed to, what made people fall in love with Ohio State football and that game day experience, while not allowing that to stagnate and fall behind. And we saw some of that a year ago. Like, I would say, I don't love the camp song after the end of the first quarter. Yeah. And I didn't love it from the very first time, where it zapped the energy. Texas has the football and Ohio State, like the crowd is into it. And I don't think that song worked the way that it was intended. But I say that just to point out the one thing, everything else that the game day experience, and from the moment that War Pigs plays, and I really think that should be the final walkout song for Ohio State. But again, they don't ask for my opinion or feedback on that. Or
But they should.
If they do, they don't care. Yeah, and that's a whole nother matter. But I think that otherwise the camp song would have been gone after week 1 because that's unsolicited from me multiple times.
We played that on the air. That would have been gone before the games even
when
started.
he played that for the first time, I was like,
we're not feeling this.
I'm out on that.
Yeah,
in a stadium with 100,000 people, this is not you getting the people rocking. This is not Seven Nation Army.
Can definitely do better. But also, they're in concert tomorrow night, so go grab your tickets.
There's that. Yeah.
I'm sure they have other songs that people
that are good. That are much better. Yes. Yes.
I don't know what they are, but that's not up to me. But and I shouldn't have started with the negative, Maddie, because it is emblematic to me that the rest was overwhelmingly positive. The way that they structured the game day, the build up to kickoff, some of the stuff with keeping people off the field for awards presentations kept the flow going. And, Ross Bjork has a really difficult job that's going to stay difficult moving forward. And they're not done because they have to do that with both Ohio Stadium and the Shop moving forward. And, football, we all know that's going to be the revenue driver, and they have to find more ways to be able to turn that revenue into retention of players. And so that's all tied into one thing.
Part of the game, there's no doubt about it. Scale of 1 to 10 at high noon tomorrow, where will your excitement be for North Carolina and TCU?
Higher than I would have thought like a week ago. I'm just ready for football to be back. I'm probably at like a 6. That game itself, I don't expect to be close for very long. So it might go from 6 to like 1 by 12:30, depending on what Bill Belichick's got up his sleeve. But I'm ready for it to be back. Got a nice game in the afternoon with NC State and Virginia. That's got some intrigue behind it. I just expect TCU to blow the doors off North Carolina, and that game will be over pretty quickly. And if somehow Chapel Bill has figured out how to turn them into the 33rd NFL team, then maybe we can stay at a 6 or a 7 for a little bit longer than I envisioned. But I don't have high hopes for that. What about you?
Me either. I'm probably about a 5 for that game. I'm more interested to see specifically USC and the defensive side of things with Gary Patterson now. They should handle business against San Jose State. That should not be a problem at all. But just to see, obviously, Mayava had a really good year a year ago, but that's just what can, I think, catapult them into being a legit contender if their defense can just offer up any type of resistance. So I'm with you on that ACC game, NC State, Virginia, but just the one half of the equation for USC at 3 o'clock on NBC. What type of bite do they have on defense?
Yeah, they're going to score points.
Right.
There's no doubt about that. That's Lincoln Riley's forte, and it always has been. But I am interested, to your point, you bring Gary Patterson, really back into college football, the end of his tenure at TCU, you could see the decline and that the game had changed. And can he reinvent himself in a new era? Does he need to? Will his old defensive schemes work as college football has evolved? We're going to find out. I mean, you're not really dealing with the same types of offenses and the prevalence of the air raid the way that he was at the end of his tenure. But that's all to be determined, and there's going to be a lot of teams that can put that to the test because USC's schedule is no joke.
No joke. No joke. Coming up next, Jeremiah Smith. He's identified a weapon on offense that he believes will be one of the best weapons in the country sooner rather than later. We'll tell you who that is next. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Common Man here for my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. Summertime napping season is upon us. What's that mean? Well, that means for me, a little nap on the leather couch. I got the ceiling fan on, but if that AC's not working properly, that nap turns into crap. Am I right? You got to make sure that AC's in tip-top shape, and the only people to call are my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. The message on their homepage says, we care about your comfort, because they do. If you're not comfortable in your own home, they start to get itchy and scratchy. Here's what you need to know about my friends at Care. They've won the Lennox Centurion Award for 17 years in a row. Now, if you're not in the biz, you don't know what that is, but I'm going to tell you, it's given to the top 5% of Lennox dealers in the country each year. Their service techs are the best in the business, and there's not a problem they can't solve, except maybe the meaning of life. They had no answer when I asked them. But think about living without central AC. Mess you up. My friends at Care also have easy online scheduling. CareHeatingandCooling.com. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust. How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. Yeah, that's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer and Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer and Cross garage floor in one day. A Comer and Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer and Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer and Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, C-O-M-E-R cross.com.
Coghlan Kia of Dublin is now open, and we're offering grand opening savings at all 4 Coghlan Kia locations. Get 0% financing on select new 26 Kia Sportage and Sorrento. Pay 0 out of pocket when you lease a new 27 Seltos or 26 Sportage for $375 a month for 36 months. Get grand opening savings at Coghlan Kia.
Coghlan has the car for you.
With approved credit, 0% for 48 months equals $20.83 per 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Leases include 10,000 miles per year with 20 cents per mile over penalty. Excludes tax, title, and registration. No security deposit. See dealer for details and A3126.
Every year, summer ends and the kids go back to school. This year, I'm going back too, at My Computer Career. They'll help me get the skills and certifications that can get me noticed by top employers in months, not years. Now I'm on a fast track to a high-demand IT career where the rewards can finally match my value. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. That's mycomputercareer.edu. It's never too late to go back to school.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear. Strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Another reason why Ohio is now ranked the #1 state for business by CNBC. This is what unstoppable feels like. We did it together, Ohio. Our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers.
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Buckeye Replay this summer takes you back to some of the greatest comebacks in Ohio State football history.
The Buckeyes take down Minnesota in one of the biggest comebacks in college football history.
Hear Buckeye Replay this Saturday at 1 p.m. on The Fan.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll enjoy a mostly sunny sky for the rest of your Friday. Good stuff out there with highs in the lower 80s. There's a tiny chance a shower could pop up. Overnight, mostly clear skies, lows back around 60. For your weekend, mostly sunny on Saturday, 83. Warmer on Sunday, sunshine, 87. For The Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Have you already started your tailgate? Us too. It's Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Matty promises he'll continue to do the show even if he wins the lottery. If only we believed him. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Happy Friday to you. Austin Ward in the building today. Bottom of the hour. Former Washington and UCLA head coach Rick Neuheisel. He's going to stop by. We'll talk all things Big Ten ball and more with him. You know, there's a lot of new faces Buckeye fans are going to get to know in real game action starting next Saturday. We talked so much about them. I'm with you, like you said, off to the top. Let's just get to it and see what these guys have. One of the guys that had an interesting journey to Ohio State was Legend Bey. And I remember we talked to you.
Been interesting since he got here, too.
Very true. Very true. With the recruiting process and the family stuff with Tennessee. And now it feels like obviously this is where he wanted to be. But he's a weapon that it seems like a lot of people are excited about. One of those guys is one of the best playmakers in the entire sport, and that's Jeremiah Smith. And here's what he thinks this guy can do in time.
It means a lot. I think I said this back in spring. I said it to Luke Montgomery. I said before Legend Bey leave Ohio State, he'll be a Heisman finalist or he'll end up winning it. And the things he's been doing in practice has been pretty special for sure.
So he thinks highly of him, to say the least. And so go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
JJ got up to finished his press conference, and I went over to talk to him. I said, man, you can't do that. That's not fair. You're the highest profile player in the sport. You're a Heisman Trophy contender right now, and you're talking about a true freshman who hasn't played a game, and you're putting those expectations on his shoulders. Anything you say, you know better than everybody how we're going to run with that. I said, that's not fair, man. And he's like, well, that's just because he also doesn't lie into a microphone. Right. So that's how he feels.
If he's saying it, then he means it, right? And so that guy getting that type of love from that player is the ultimate praise, right? Because we hear all the time, like, players really value what some of the best think of them. So if you're Legend Bey, you've been in high school the last couple years, watching Jeremiah on Sundays just dominate the sport, and now you get into camp and you hear this guy say that. And so who knows how that will affect him, but you look at the player that he was in high school and just the dual threat ability, just the crazy numbers at quarterback and how they used him as a weapon. You look up some of the things he did out there in track as well, and so he's got that speed and just that ability, Austin, to just add a spark to an offense in different ways, which we all know can put some fear in defenses.
I kind of thought there would be a point, Maddie, where the Legend Bey hyperbole, which maybe it's not. I mean, maybe it is going to be as real as they say it is, but the hype train that might slow down, because sometimes you hear that with the true freshmen and you make them feel at home, and then the de-recruitment process kicks up and you say, and some of this will still be true. Legend Bey's got to work on ball security. He's going to be getting hit for the first time by, Texas has some of the best defenders in the country. If he's out there in week 2, that's going to be something he's never experienced before. But, you think back to Ryan Day before spring camp and saying, well, he's a poor man's Tyreek Hill. And then 2 weeks later, so, well, he can do Curtis Samuel things. All right. And then you have Carlos Lachlan come out and say, well, watching him run is like artistic poetry in motion. It's artistry. I'm like, okay, that's great. We're going to keep going with that. But then you take it even further, because you have Jeremiah Smith saying he's someday going to be a Heisman finalist or win it. And you have Jalen McClain saying, well, when this guy gets the corner, if he gets the corner on Ohio State's defense in camp, he's gone. And most other defenses that are going to be trying to slow down Ohio State don't have the same weapons that the Buckeyes do on that side of the football. So good luck to them. I really thought that maybe the captains could, splash some cold water on this conversation and be like, well, we think he's really good, but he's got to learn this and that. But, you think about the locker room, they know, and they're not going to say it for no reason.
Right.
They don't have it doesn't help them to blow smoke up a teammate if it's not legit. And you think about him coming back as well, and he missed those first 2 practices, had the violation of team rules. And where did they put him, Maddie, on day 3? Right back with the ones. Like, there is so much smoke that there's got to be some real fire, and that's about to be unleashed in a week's time.
So to your point, following the coach's actions, that tells you what they think of him. The players, we just identified that. This dude in time is going to be an absolute dude, in my opinion. I think the beauty of the setup, though, is he doesn't have to be that right away. They don't need him to be the end-all, be-all, especially if it's coming out of the backfield, catching passes, whatever role they want to have him in. It sounds like it's going to be maybe multiple roles in time. You touched on Curtis Samuel. I think junior year Curtis Samuel, like, that's the dream, right? To have a guy that can grab you more than a handful of rushing touchdowns, more than a handful of receiving touchdowns as well. And we saw Urban be able to move him around as a chess piece. And I love what you brought up about ball security, because that's the trust factor, right? For young players, that they need to showcase that early on, especially in big time matchups, because if it goes the other way, then you're climbing uphill as far as the pecking order when it comes to touches, regardless of your skill set. They're not going to trust you in big moments.
And that was, you think back to last September, it was the real significant conversation that was going on with Bo Jackson. Can he elevate and become the starting tailback for Ohio State? Well, can he be trusted to do that? He had, a couple fumbles in games, and every time there'd be a step forward, it's like, oh, well, maybe, this must be happening in practice. They'd bring up practice habits. Is this going to be alleviated in games? Can that concern dissipate? Is he going to hold on to the football at the goal line? And as he got more consistent with that, then the number of touches went up as well. That part for Legend Bey is going to be fascinating to watch, because he's not likely to have as many opportunities to work on that as Bo Jackson did a year ago. He doesn't have to be a full-time running back, as you mentioned, Maddie. He's not going to be necessarily a full-time wide receiver. And Ohio State is also not going to go from 65, 70 snaps a game to 90, which then opens up more opportunities for touches and more snaps and all those things. So, Legend Bey in that pecking order, where does he land? You know that Jeremiah is going to need what, 15 to 20 in talent-equated games. Brandon Ennis is going to be right there for 5 to 10. Who knows what that's going to look like? Devin McEwen, Bo Jackson, and Isaiah West or Kobe Jackson, however that shakes out, that's roughly 30 touches right there that you need, 30 to 35. So that role that we're talking about for Legend Bey, which could be an X factor, is still not something that is easy to project more than like 4 or 5 touches a game.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be magnified when the ball is in his hands, and he can't let any of those opportunities slip away.
One of the guys that's tasked to carve out a role for Legend Bey alongside Ryan Day is obviously Arthur Smith. And let's hear from Jeremiah Smith. Here he is on what's different about Coach Smith's offense.
What's different? Go give me the ball. That's all I can say. It's different for real. But no, we just got a lot of different things that we do in this offense with Coach Smith. He found ways to get us guys the ball, and it's all about the little things with Coach Smith. He got plays on plays, and you're going to see a whole different offense this year than last year.
We've heard from Coach Day this week about the depth in the wide receiver room. He seems pretty confident about that. You just laid out what the running back room could look like. So week in and week out, defensive coordinators on their whiteboard, they're going to be circling number 4. They'd be stupid not to, with how dangerous he is. But I think we are looking at a situation to where Julian snap in and snap out based on whatever the coverage is. If he can gain that trust in them, I think he's going to have a couple different levers he's going to be able to pull, and that makes this offense, I think, really scary, at least right now on paper.
Yeah, he needs to. That means another step forward for Brandon Ennis. It does mean that Devin McEwen lives up to some of that potential that we've seen not just in spring, but those first couple practices of training camp. You know, Chris Henry Jr. has been, you compare him physically right now to where he was in March, it's like he's been on a rocket ship. Anthony Schlegel, Mickey Marotti, that whole strength staff working with him. Chris Henry Jr. is not afraid to work after practice. Whenever last time we were in there Wednesday, he's on the jugs, getting as much extra reps after practice as he possibly can. Same for Brock Boyd, Jaquaden Guilford. All of these guys are trying to fight for those opportunities as the 3rd and 4th wide receiver. And Jeremiah needs that. Julian Sayin needs that, because otherwise you're looking at another season of dealing with nothing but double and triple coverage.
Mm-hmm.
But the other lever that I think Arthur Smith will pull is we have seen, and it's why maybe not September 5th, but definitely on September 12th against Texas, where Jeremiah lines up, the number of times that he might go in motion, the different routes that he might run. I think this is going to look very different for him than a year ago, because I don't believe Arthur Smith, Ryan Day are going to leave opportunities on the table for Jeremiah Smith. And the more that you move him around, and we saw this with Jackson Smith and Jigba, it didn't really get to happen because of the injury. We heard about slot Marvin Harrison. There was some level of success there. A combination of both of those things, Jeremiah can do anything that you want him to on a football field. I don't know if he can play center maybe, but that might be the limit. Move him all around, and defenses are going to be, in shambles trying to figure out what to do to stop that.
I think about that big-time play he had early in the second matchup against Oregon in the Rose Bowl a couple years ago, right? You could just feel like, hey, we're going to move him here, have him do that, had that big, I think, that end-around right where he takes it to the house, and just he was doing so much damage in that game. But when you started highlighting that potential, my mind went back to that moment in the game plan. It felt like Coach Day, everybody involved was like, hey, we are going to move him around, get him involved early and often, and I think that should be, more times than not, that's a smart move.
Because I think, yes, Jeremiah Smith is good enough to beat double coverage, and he can run every downfield route that you could ever want him to do. But if you are just limiting yourself to, and I'll put this in air quotes, NFL-style routes and long developing passing concepts, because both Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, you trust them to win reps, that's about the only way you can hope to slow them down. You give them a shot, especially if you're dealing with a young quarterback and trying to get decision-making, or you speed up because of the offensive line wasn't perfect against Indiana and Miami in terms of protection. That's the only chance you have. If you have a quick hitting play to Jeremiah Smith, exactly what you're talking about against Oregon in the Rose Bowl, you throw it to him for 2 yards, he can go 80.
Well, he's an absolute beast, as we know. Rick Neuheisel, college football analyst for CBS, former Washington and UCLA head coach. He stops by in 2 minutes to talk Buckeyes and a lot more. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Common Man here. Right now, buy 4 windows, get 4 free in 48 months with 0% interest, same as cash. Restrictions apply. Call 614-502-5220. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, Bo Bishop here. From scratch-made dishes to craft cocktails built with their local spirits, High Bank is the perfect place for date night, game day, or getting together with friends. Whether you're sipping the best vodka in America or grabbing a meal, High Bank delivers every time. Learn more at highbankcode.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
AR, you know what I tell everybody who asks me about buying a car?
What's that?
Go to McDaniel GM Superstore. I did, and it was smooth. No hidden fees. Everything laid out up front from the jump.
That's the way it should be. And right now, they've got a deal on the 26 Traverse that's hard to pass up.
Lease one for as low as $435 a month.
Plenty of room, the Chevy reliability, and a payment that actually makes sense.
Terms and conditions apply for qualified buyers. McDaniel GM Superstore, just north on 23 off Route 95 in Marion, or McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Did you know you can save up to $35 on your next fill-up? Redeem your points for big savings at the pump. Exclusions apply. See site for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Whether it's water heater trouble, clogged or leaky pipes, or sub pump worries, Logan Services has you covered with service calls for just $79. We're fast, friendly, and here to help you with your plumbing projects. Logan Services.
Rothman Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice on 97.1 The Fan.
Let's go. Welcome back in. Going to light up the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline right now. Bring on one of our favorites, Rick Neuheisel. Make sure you're watching CBS. He'll have great coverage for you all year long. Former Washington and UCLA head coach. Coach, welcome back in. How we feeling?
I'm feeling great. It's college football season, man. With games tonight in the FCS. We got a game over the pond in Ireland tomorrow. We get ready to go. Let's get it all over us.
Yeah, man, we're rocking and rolling. Let's get right into it and get your thoughts on Ohio State. When you look at the reset that they made in the offseason, some new faces, bringing in Arthur Smith on the offensive side of things on the staff, what is the biggest question you have about Ohio State right now going into a new season?
You know, you lose three guys who were taken in the first 11 picks of the NFL draft. That's always going to be a little bit of a question mark. Can the next three guys up, replace that kind of productivity? And yet, I don't know that there's a lot of concern. Number one, because Matt Patricia is really good. Number two, because Ohio State recruits like nobody else. And number three, just the tradition of that particular school, you always are going to expect first rounders. So I don't have any real question marks. Julian Sayin, I don't think people realize the kind of year he had for a freshman quarterback last year. That was 77%. That was what Joe Burrow was in his senior year, when he was getting all the accolades and getting the Heisman Trophy and so forth. For Sayin to do that in his first year of competition is off the charts. So Arthur Smith's got a really cool tablet in which to kind of do any kind of art form he wants.
Rick, when you bring up Julian Sayin there, and Ryan Day's very rarely had opportunities to have a second-year starting quarterback, and some of them were a little bit disjointed there with Justin Fields and COVID and all that. But this, when you, from your own experience, when you've had a quarterback with a year to get under center, to run the offense, and then another offseason to develop their skills beyond that, based on your track record, where do you see the biggest growth, and what's the difference in talking to a second-year starting quarterback compared to a new guy?
I think you can have more in the offense that allows him the opportunity to green light himself, right? I think you start with youngsters. You want to be real careful about how much you put on their plate in terms of the handling at the line of scrimmage. I remember having a quarterback by the name of Cody Pickett. He was right after we won a Rose Bowl, and so we were going to start. We were going to be real, careful of how many throws and how many, times we put him in a situation where he had to make a bunch of, snap decisions. and all of a sudden Michigan was going to kick a field goal and we were going to be 2 scores down in the fourth quarter, and we were going to have to kind of change that mentality. We blocked the field goal, run it back for a touchdown, and we just think we're a bunch of genius coaches, right? But the bottom line is, Julian, first of all, having met him at the media days, is a really bright, older than he seems type of guy. And my feeling is now Arthur is going to be able to give him a lot of things where he can basically, as I said, greenlight himself, say, you got an opportunity here. They're rolling over there to J.J. Smith. You got Brandon Ennis over here, or whomever is the next great one at Ohio State. You got an opportunity for a deep ball. And I think we're going to see that. The 77% might dip to 75, but it'll be much more aggressive because they trust him that much.
Rick Neuheisel joining us here on Rothman and Ice. Want to zoom out from Ohio State. Let's go down to Georgia. I couldn't wait to get your thoughts on that offense and Kirby Smart, led by Gunnar Stockton, because here they are, Rick, as you know, third in the AP poll for whatever that's worth at the moment. But kind of highlight what you think Georgia is going to look like, specifically on offense, led by Gunnar Stockton.
Well, I think the thing you have to temper all expectations in the SEC with is this is the first year of 9 conference games. That's just an extra little bullet in the chamber, right? That what they've done is they've guaranteed the SEC at least 8 more losses. 8 more losses that can be spread anywhere. So they had 5 teams in the CFP last year. I'm going to say it's going to be less than that this year because of that. And Georgia's a team that, you mentioned Gunnar Stockton, 69% passer, really, really kind of a quality kid. Everybody says his toughness and so forth. But I don't see NFL in him. And maybe he's going to prove me wrong, but I don't see a guy that's going to go get in an NFL camp and just become a rage. I see a guy that's kind of, find a way to help you win, but not necessarily that guy. So Nate Frazier and the running game is going to have to be good. And does Kirby still have the stockpile of defensive front guys that can basically win games by themselves? You don't have to take chances on offense because you're always going to get the ball back. That, to me, is going to be the question of Georgia. If they have that, then they can be back in that, Final Four type mentality, and certainly that's what people feel about Georgia. But that 9th conference game is going to be a bugaboo in the SEC.
Rick, do you have a, underrated, under-the-radar team that you're particularly high on that maybe nobody else is?
I think Washington. I think Damon Williams, the quarterback, is damn good. And they have a schedule where most of the big games that they have, the team is coming to them. Now, they go to SC in September. If they pull an upset and beat the Trojans in Los Angeles, I can see Jed Fish getting to 10 wins and getting to the college football playoff.
Let's stay in the Big Ten. And how are you feeling about Kyle Whittingham, Bryce Underwood, and all of this coming together? Because as you know, kid came out of high school, highly rated and all of those things. And now here he is, I think, with some question marks going into year 2 and maybe even some doubters as far as can he live up to what he is supposed to be. So how do you feel about Bryce Underwood in Michigan going into the new year?
Well, I think it's the key to their season. I think Kyle Whittingham and his defensive guy, he brought Jay Hill from BYU with him to handle the defense. I think the defense will be as advertised, always good, always tough. Jason Beck is coming along as his offensive coordinator. He had been at New Mexico before coming to Utah last year. When he came to Utah, he brought Devin Dampier, his quarterback, who was a 1,000-yard rusher with the Lobos. And he also had a big year running the ball, and they won 10 games in Salt Lake City last year. If Jason Beck can talk Bryce Underwood into taking on more of a Devin Dampier role, meaning dual threat, and using his legs a lot more and not just wanting to be a pocket passer, if that marriage can happen and Bryce Underwood's all in on that, then I think Michigan can be one of the elite programs in the Big Ten. Right now I have Ohio State, Oregon, and Indiana as the elite. You've got Penn State wanting to get back in that category, certainly Michigan wanting to get back in that category. I talked about Washington. I talk about USC, maybe throw Iowa in that. I am curious to see if Bryce Underwood will buy into that. That's going to be the key at Michigan.
Rick, you mentioned that Washington-USC matchup. I think it was a couple weeks ago that Urban Meyer mentioned that might be a across the Rubicon game for Lincoln Riley. If he can't win it, you threw them in there as that next wave of programs trying to get back to the top. USC gets to kick it off tomorrow. What do you make of the Trojans? What kind of expectations are realistic for them in your mind?
I think it's CFP or bust for Lincoln Riley. Now, there's some scenarios where they can win some really cool games and everybody would be excited about the Trojans that they didn't get in the college football playoff. But when you're talking about a program that's got 11 national titles to their resume and they've not been to the CFP, which began in 2014, that's a big deal. And when you're paying the coach, $11 million, and this is year 5, and you've given him everything he wants. You got a GM from Notre Dame. They've given a limitless budget. You've got Gary Patterson now as your defensive coordinator. To me, they got to get it done, and yet the schedule is daunting. They get Oregon at home, then Washington at home. They go on the road to, I think, Indiana. I think they're on the road at Penn State, probably a whiteout game, and then they got the Buckeyes at home later in the season. So they've got their hands full. The question is, I think they got Jaden Maiava on the offensive pieces. Did Gary Patterson have enough defensively to get them there? But pressure on Lincoln, no doubt.
All right, Coach, hit us with, if you've done it already, we'd love to get your Final Four and Natty winner. Do you have that available?
I got the Final Four as Ohio State. I've got Notre Dame. I've got. I'll go with your Georgia pick. I'm putting Texas in there. I'm anxious to watch this Ohio State Texas game. By the way, I think the Buckeyes win that in Austin. And then the 4 school. Gosh, I don't have that one yet. I'd love to just throw one in there, but I don't have it for you yet.
Talk about Notre Dame, because a lot of people are very high on them. You've got them in your Final Four, so you're seeing the vision as well.
I think Jack Swarbrick deserves a statue in South Bend. Not only did the guy get Notre Dame the most preferential deal in the CFP, he's also the guy that got it to 12 teams, which now Notre Dame doesn't have to be perfect. And they've softened the schedule. They've got a very easy schedule. I think in the magazines they've got them rated 66th, which is the easiest schedule of all the Power 4 teams. The easiest. They will not have a team on their schedule that they'll be anywhere close to a single-digit favorite until November. So if they keep everybody healthy, which is the likelihood, and they run the table until November when Miami gets to town, you got to like their chances to have a great run, especially if C.J. Carr is as advertised. At the Manning Passing Academy, they said he was a phenom, so I'm anxious to watch.
All right, Rick. So Maddie tried to get you to nail down the Final Four there. I'm going to ask for your preseason Heisman winner. And does Jeremiah Smith locally have a chance to bring home that statue?
Always a chance, but imagine him having that kind of year with people rolling to him and Julian saying, making all those throws. You got to put saying in there too, right? So I'm going to go with C.J. Carr as the guy that I think is going to get the Heisman, because if Notre Dame goes 11-1 or 12-0, it just there's too many domers out there that just go crazy and will be all over that guy. So C.J. Carr, it's a great story. His grandfather was the head coach at Michigan. I mean, I think CJ's the odds-on favorite.
It's good stuff. We appreciate the breakdown, Rick. Enjoy the season, and we'll be reaching out to you soon and hopefully connecting with you so we can do it again. Thanks so much for your time. Have a good one.
Always a treat. Had fun going through the shoe when I was there with the Renegades against the Aviators. Quite a place. Quite a place.
No doubt. And they're upgrading it, Coach, so it's looking even better now. So appreciate your time. Have a good weekend, my man. Thank you.
Take care now.
There
Bye.
he goes, Rick Neuheisel from CBS, former Washington and UCLA. Hey, Coach, we will finish the first hour on a Friday with overs and unders. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you. The meatloaf! The Fan.
On this episode of Science Stuff, we're examining the fastest things on the planet, like the cheetah. It can reach a land speed of over... probably having an off day happens to everybody, but here is the American race car. People love the thrill of the Okay. Next up is the Falcon. Oh, all right. Oh, Great Caesar's ghost, what was that? Why, I think we've found the fastest. Let's watch in slow motion.
Hi, it's Alex, the friendly Apex.
It's Apex Pros, the pros who knows. They're the fastest thing on the planet. When you have a problem with your plumbing, furnace, air conditioner, or electrical system, Apex Pros gets to you faster than apparently everything. Leaves are blown from trees. Paint is stripped from buildings. Mothers clutch their children's hands. Because when you have something broken in your plumbing, HVAC, or electrical, you don't want to wait.
Columbus loves Apex Pros. ApexPros.com.
Steve here with USA Insulation. Let's do some quick math together. Your energy bill this summer, probably one of the highest you've ever paid. Now imagine that same bill all winter long. That's what you're going to be looking at if you don't fix your insulation. You can still get the best deal of the year. We foam your walls, we insulate your attic for free. That ends August 31st. You don't want to miss it. The insulation pays for itself in energy savings. Call before August 31st for your free attic insulation. 529-2440 or usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Iconic summer moments deserve an iconic drink. Reach for Mountain Dew, an American original. From its beginnings in the foothills of Tennessee to your biggest summer yet. The refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew is the perfect companion to your American summer adventures. Enjoy the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Tasting great since 48. Look for Mountain Dew in stores near you at mountaindew.com. That's mountaindew.com.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. That's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in one day. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer & Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer & Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, C-O-M-E-R cross.com.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
Inside or out, Billiards Plus has what you need for tailgating season. Fire up your new top-of-the-line grill for a perfect game day feast. Then keep the fun going inside with pool tables, shuffleboard, and more. Billiards Plus, the store you won't want to leave. Shop online or visit them on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Great cars, great deals, Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
The savings are so good at Great Lakes Hyundai of Dublin. Right now, lease a new 26 Tucson SE for $149 per month for 36 months. Just $149 a month. Only at Great Lakes Hyundai of Dublin. Plus, get 10 years or 100,000 miles of powertrain coverage with your new Hyundai. Just off 270 or at glakeshyundaiofdublin.com.
Get your air conditioner fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling. 1-800-COOLING.
Retirement from football hits everyone differently. For DeVere Posey and Dane Sanzenbacher, it means sitting around watching sports clips on the internet and arguing about them. Search for Didn't Catch That on YouTube and subscribe.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub. Catch every game at JT's with award-winning pizza, $2 Yingling Tall Boys, and $20 domestic buckets.
Rothman and Ice presents Overs and Unders.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
All right, TLC. What do you got, man? And overs and unders.
All right, we got 4 here for you. Let's start it here. Heading into the weekend, I believe it will be noon. Is when we got UNC and TCU live from Dublin, Ireland. Over under one half of that game watched by you.
Okay, so here's what I got on deck for my viewership this weekend. I got to get caught up on Big Brother.
Okay.
The Love Island reunion, I don't have to worry about that until Monday. I'm really behind on
That's
the
our Super
show.
Bowl.
That is our Super Bowl, A-Dub. I don't know if you're into that, but Cole and I are charged up about that.
I'm not into it, but I'm aware that you guys are.
Okay. And then I'm behind on the show I love called Lioness. I don't know if you've ever heard of that or watched it on Paramount.
I've heard of it.
Okay.
Haven't seen it.
I think they're roughly about a month in. So I think I'll get a quarter in. You said a half? I'll probably
Over under a half.
Yeah, I'll probably good. I'll give you the under.
I started at a quarter.
Yeah.
And then I moved it up to a half.
Yeah, I think I'll be good.
I kind of thought I'd get the response of like, oh, well, we got football this weekend. You're not watching. You're only watching a quarter.
No. Give me under. That'll be enough for me probably.
Yeah, I think it'll be out of reach by halftime. I'm gonna stand on that hill right now, and I'll die there. And if I'm wrong, we'll talk about it on on Tuesday when I'm in here.
Exactly.
I'll take accountability, but I don't see any way.
We will have moved on by then,
Well,
so it's okay.
I think
that's
so.
a good part of radio. You can say stuff, and people are
hopefully-
consuming so much content they can't keep track of what you said.
Hopefully, North Carolina will have moved on from Bill Belichick by then, because this is just getting to the point of absurdity.
It's like, what are we doing, right? All of it is just noise that isn't any good noise about football.
Yeah.
With him right now. I've been saying, Austin, I think this is it this season for him in Chapel Hill.
It's got to be. I don't see how you can move forward, especially at $10 million a year, and every hiring decision that he's made has backfired in his face, from the general manager to bringing his son in as the defensive coordinator.
Yep.
Now, those situations are different, but neither one of them worked in year one. I can't see how they're going to work in year two. We've had to learn way too much about mermaids and professional cheerleading teams and everything else, but this thing needs to run its course and be done. So I think I'll be turning that off by halftime. Under.
Apropos of everything that has to do with today, when does hoodie season start? Over under October 1st? As I'm asking someone who's wearing one right now.
Thanks to our freezing cold studio. I'm usually wearing one every day in here. Ooh. October 1st, Ada.
Yeah, under.
Yeah.
Especially now that you've got like performance hoodies, athletic hoodies. Like, I'm wearing them all year.
All year.
You know, especially with someone with my skin tone. And if you're just listening to the radio and you've never seen my red hair and complexion, I need the coverage on my arms. So the first chance that I can get to might be a different answer for like heavy hoodie season, but I'd still probably have one of those on.
Protecting from windburn?
Yeah.
I agree. I'm going under. We're getting to that. I was looking at my little weather thing on my iPhone, and highs are still like 80-ish, but those lows were getting mid-50s, early 60s, and that's everything that I can want and need. Because for me, a month from now is the best part of the sports calendar. A month from now, when everything is rolling. Maybe a month and a half, NBA, NHL, all that stuff, but then the weather will really start to turn, and then I'm just a full couch potato putting a dent in my couch every single week, and I ain't moving.
Yeah, I had a hoodie on this morning to take Liberty to the bus stop, so we've already hit that mark.
All right, so on Saturday, which is tomorrow.
What's the high and low?
The low is what we care about.
Yeah.
At 7 a.m., if you want to go get a morning walk at 58 degrees.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Uh-huh.
Living the dream.
It'll get up to 81 a little bit later. But tomorrow, if you want a nice cool morning walk to get your day started on a Saturday, not bad. How many games will Dillon Gabriel start in a Cleveland Brown uniform from this day forward? Over, under 2.5.
Ooh, wow. So I guess, my thing is, I don't think he's going to be on next year's roster, and I'm not sure he's going to be on this year's either. Maybe they mess around and keep 4 and make it strange this season. I'm going to go under, because part of me is like, Monken may want to see the Taylor Green experiment a little bit more and work on that, maybe more so than Dillon. He looked good last night. It was preseason for whatever that's worth. I'm going to take the under this year. I think it's going to be Deshaun for whatever that is, and then the rest of the way, I think Shador's going to hold it down.
Yeah, I actually think I would take the over here, and maybe they'll cut him, and I'll be immediately wrong about that, but the Browns told us what they think of Shador by starting Deshaun Watson. And so whether we continue to see him on the roster, whether it's trade, cut situation, I don't know. I won't make a bold prediction on that one, but I think Dillon Gabriel, once they move on from Deshaun, is going to have a real chance there, because I just don't believe that they're actually interested at all in Shador moving forward.
And let's round it out here. What percentage of T-shirts that you own do you actually wear? Over, under 30%?
Oh, way under.
I got to be well under that, because when I'm here, I'm usually in athletic gear, So hoodies, quarter zips, stuff like that.
Because you played.
Yeah. Little inside joke there. And then when I'm at home, I like the AC blast, and so it's oversized hoodies at home when I'm comfortable, too. So I honestly need to just get rid of a whole bunch of T-shirts. You probably need to come to my house and just pluck all my T-shirts that I have. I got some nice T-shirts that you probably like. You are a large?
I can do large or XL.
Yeah, I might have to bring those in-house
I'll
for you.
swim in an XL, and a large will be a little bit tight, but it'll be all right.
I might wear 10% of my T-shirts, and it's probably lower than that.
I think I'm probably at like 1%.
Yeah. It's probably lower than that.
A, too many T-shirts, but B, the same thing that Maddie's talking about. I don't wear them anymore.
Yeah.
I'm either going to be comfortable and throwing on the hoodie like I already talked about. It's hoodie season for me now, or the quarter zips that going to work. Now they've, the fan has handed out these vests so that I can put them on top of the golf shirts. I'm wearing those because I got to have the company logo on every bit of content that we're doing. I don't have to. I want to. Let me rephrase that.
We appreciate you today.
Yeah, 100%. It's also because, television's Adam King and Nicole Sheeran need me to record something afterwards. So I want to look profesh. But I just don't wear T-shirts anymore, but I still love to have them. It's like, that's a cool T-shirt. I got to have that. I have a drawer, 2 drawers. I hope Allie's not listening right now, or she'll just make me throw them all away. But I just don't even wear any of them anymore.
Fresh cut today? Fresh cut Friday for you?
Got in, when? Wednesday, I think. Yeah, Wednesday morning.
Looking crispy, man.
I had to, so they've revamped the Ohio State and Ryan Day coaches show.
Yeah.
They wanted me and Berm for some reason to contribute to that.
Okay, nice.
Like, if we're going to be on television even more this week, it's time to get rid of the way too long locks that were on top.
Looks good, man. Looks good game. Hey, look, coming up next, we're going to play a game that nobody's ever played in radio history.
Whoa.
Ever. We're playing fill in the blank. Nobody's ever played that.
That's new.
College football edition. Don't move after an update. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
If you're being honest, you can feel it in the air, can't you? We're getting so close to that first fall Saturday where all the talking stops and you finally find out what you're about. It's Jeremy Birmingham here, Berm from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan. And being around training camp lately has actually reminded me of something about myself. I spent a long time knowing what I needed to do, and somehow I confused that with actually doing it. I knew I was carrying too much weight. I knew it because my knees told me that, my ankles told me that. That's just the price you pay, especially when you have arthritis. I knew I didn't feel the way that I wanted to feel, but none of that information was new. What was new was that I had an opportunity to change it. And what changed was finally having somebody help me do something about it. I started Awaken 180. I followed the plan. I worked with my coach, and 7 weeks later, I was down 40 pounds without weight loss medication. The inflammation was gone, the grogginess is gone, and my happiness is way up. If you've spent the summer thinking about doing something, maybe it's time to stop thinking and start doing. Make today your starting point. That's coming from somebody who knows what comes next. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Common Man and Timmy here for our friends at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Mikey, there's so much fun this month. It's just fantastic.
We've got Sun-Kissed Summer Saturday drawings where you can win up to $500 in pen cash, plus all-you-can-eat crab legs still going on.
You mean the Canadian snow crab legs, corn on the cob, and Hawaiian rolls every Tuesday?
Of course. Plus the last Saturday in the month, play the Queen's Gamble for a chance to win up to $5,000 in pen cash.
5,000? Must be 21 to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Labor Day deals are looking good at Lowe's. Save $10 on 1-gallon cans and $50 on 5-gallon pails of select interior paint via rebate. Plus, get 2 2.5-quart or 3-quart mums for just $8. A fresh look and savings? Even better. Labor Day deals are on now at Lowe's, in-store and online. Valid through 9/9. While supplies last. Mum sizes vary by location and exclude Alaska and Hawaii. See store at Lowe's.com for more details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
Anthony Rothman here. Unlock your home's potential with a home equity line of credit from Telhio. For a limited time, receive a special rate as low as 6.25% APR. Visit telhio.org to apply.
Member NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending, your original home of the no-cost loan. When it comes time to buy or refinance your home, there's 3 basic rules you need to know. Rule number 1, never ask your lender if they need to call your employer to make sure you still work there. Quitting the week of closing was not cool, Bob. Number 2, never call from jail and say you're going to be running a little late for closing. Again, not cool, Bob. And finally, the one thing Bob did right, never ever pay closing costs. What banks won't tell you is that paying closing costs creates an 8-year break even, yet the average loan lasts only 4. It's similar to buying life insurance at age 108. The math simply doesn't math. At Miller Lending, we solved that problem 39 years ago. By waiving all the fees, we completely eliminated the break even, so you will immediately realize savings. So why wait? Pick up the phone and call Miller Lending today. 877-9-NO-COST, or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
This year, I'm going back to school at My Computer Career. They helped me get financial aid, and I chose between online or on-campus classes to fit my needs. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take their free career evaluation. It's never too late to go back to school.
Maddie, I love mine, but not everybody needs a big truck.
True. That's why I love what McDaniel GM Superstore is doing with the 26 tracks. I bought mine there. Easiest experience I've ever had. Upfront pricing with no surprises at the counter.
And now you can lease the 26 tracks for as low as $185 a month.
Or if you'd rather own it, buy for as low as $315 a month.
Terms and conditions apply for qualified buyers. Get to McDaniel GM Superstore, north on 23 off Route 95 in Marion. Visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com.
Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon. I'm Isaiah Jacob. Last night, the Browns wrapped up the preseason with a 37-13 win over the Patriots. Dylan Gabriel played fantastic, completing 12 of 15 passes for 186 yards, 3 touchdowns, all coming in the first half. The second half, quarterback Taylon Green ran for 66 yards, and that was it for him on the night. The Bengals wrap up their preseason tonight, taking on the Eagles in Philadelphia at 8 o'clock. No starters set to play for Cincinnati. And then some Division II action here. Ohio Dominican pulled off a massive upset last night, knocking off Division I FCS Morehead State 42-40 in triple overtime. In baseball, the Gardos are rolling, winning 7 straight and now sitting just 2.5 games back in the AL Central. Cleveland hosts the Kansas City Royals tonight at 7:10. The Reds open a new series with the Cubs this afternoon at 2:20. Breaking sports news when it happens on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Anthony's hidden talent is weaving a movie quote into every conversation. It's mostly not annoying. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Hour number 2. Happy Friday to you. Got Austin Ward in the building today. Bottom of the hour, Sam Monson from the Check the Mic podcast. He joins the show. We'll talk all things NFL with him. A-Dub, are you a guacamole guy?
Oh, who isn't?
Okay,
Come on.
well, I got bad news for you.
Oh, no.
Because what I'm looking at on social media is the FDA has upgraded a recall of guacamole to the highest risk level.
Oh, no.
I'm seeing a headline that says FDA upgrades recall on Whole Foods guacamole to the highest threat level. So be careful out there.
Make your own guacamole.
There you
folks.
go.
Like,
there
don't
you go.
Buy the packaged stuff. I don't know if there's any packaged food right now that's safe to eat.
Sounds like it, man. There's a whole bunch of recalls going on. It's getting scary. I got spooked out the other day when I saw a headline about blueberries. They were recalling all of those from, I can't remember what establishment it was, but that was a tough look. So, yeah, be careful out there. I just wanted to pass that along because I know there's a ton of people that love guacamole. I am not one of them. I know I'm on an island.
Okay, all right.
But your favorite way to consume guacamole is what? Avocado toast, chips and guac?
It's got to be, I want a tortilla chip for sure. That's just load that bad boy up.
Okay. When you go to a Mexican joint, do we need guac, salsa, and queso, or how's that looking for you?
The girls Maddie are obsessed with queso. Allie handed that down to Liberty. So now we go to Don Tequila by the house. They bring out the salsa right away. Yeah. No, we can't wait. Don't forget that queso. Bring it over here, son. Here we go. I don't really need it. I might put the queso on a burrito, on a taco, but I'm not just going to douse every chip in it. Those two are they would drink it if they were allowed.
It's one of my favorite things. I can't do guac, so I will go just salsa and queso all day. Keep it rolling. It's the perk of that at a Mexican joint. As soon as you sit down, you don't have to wait for anything. You can just get busy right away with the chips and salsa. That's a win for everybody involved. Good on them for doing that.
I hate it, though, because it's not – they can like whatever they want. It's when they cross streams and you get some of they go queso first into the salsa.
Okay, no, can't do that.
I still want the salsa.
Yeah.
And, yes, it's fun. Oh, is that the worst thing that could happen? Get a little bit of cheese on your chip. I would like them to be separate.
Yeah.
I like all my food to be separate.
Yeah.
So we got to get some proper dipping etiquette going.
I think that's great.
What's important to me.
Let me hit you with this. What's your favorite road trip for food specifically that you've been on or you look forward to doing again?
Oh, man, that's a great one, Maddie. Because this league is great for it. I think Wisconsin is probably the go-to for me.
Okay.
And believe it or not, and I think probably for obvious reasons, the beer, the curds, and the brats. And
Kringles.
What are the Kringles? What are they? Oh, hit me with those.
Those are a dessert.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, describe that. That's new for me. Kringles?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know how to describe it.
It's like it sounds like a German pastry if I had to guess.
It's
Kringles. Interesting.
It's like
but I don't think I've had that.
It's like pie-ish. No, that's a terrible description. I'm trying to think of how to it's like a mini.
Oh, I've got it right here.
You know those mini like handheld cherry pie things?
The description is a Kringle is a large oval-shaped Danish-American breakfast pastry featuring flaky laminated dough wrapped around a sweet fruit nut or cream cheese filling and finished with a simple icing glaze.
Yes. So imagine one of those handheld cherry pie things. It's almost like a cherry pie sandwich, except it's like a giant ring of it.
Yeah, you got.
And it doesn't have to be cherry. That's an example.
Austin, you got to add this to the mix when you get over there.
We'll definitely try that the next time around. You got
Spotted Cow,
the only place that you can get New Glarus, and the last time we were there last season. Let's see how many I went game day morning and bought 8 cases of Spotted Cow. And then there were a couple people in there, and they're like,
just for yourself or for friends?
Well, there were some other people that wanted it. It's like I was ferrying some home, but it's like people look at me like, oh, you guys going to the tailgate? I'm like, no, I actually got to go to work. Like this is for later. But I took every case that they had at the liquor store that was by our hotel.
He's like, all right, I'm off to work. See ya.
Yeah, sorry. This is what it takes for me to get through the workday. But surprising number 2, and I don't like the road trip. I don't like the stadium, but the Strombolis and calzones and pizza option at Rutgers in Piscataway makes all the rest of it worth it. So it's a sneaky number 2 right there, but I'd say Wisconsin head and shoulders number 1.
I don't know if this is crazy on my part, but I have never consumed beer cheese in my life. So I don't know what that's. So describe that to me, like the difference between queso and beer cheese.
It's the same thing.
Okay. So I've had it.
You've had it.
I've had it.
I don't think I can really give you a difference because the beer all cooks off. So you're not really going to get much of that flavor anyway.
Okay.
Did you say the drive to Piscataway?
Yeah. So,
as Pennsylvania's a long state.
It sure is. It's not a very fun drive. It takes us about 9 hours. The one thing that longtime listeners of the Austin and Berm Show will know, and he gets criticized for, maybe that's too strong of a word. We poke fun at on the Buckeye Show is that if there's any way that he can drive instead of fly somewhere because he hates flying, that we're going to do that. And so that's like the breaking point destination. 9 hours. Because if you're going to fly to New York and then we have to deal with renting a car or flying to LaGuardia or wherever else, get on the turnpike, deal with all their traffic, it's going to be roughly about 9 hours of travel either way.
Mm-hmm. Shocking. The dude who lived in Michigan and worked in Columbus, Ohio doesn't care about long-distance driving.
Loves to drive. Now, he's driven to Nebraska before. I'm telling you right now, we're not doing that again. We will be flying to Lincoln in November. He last year... Cole, he was looking at if he could take a train, maybe it was 2 years ago, maybe it was both, to Oregon or Washington. to avoid. I was like,
he hates flying that much?
Yes. And I was like, he'd have to leave the Tuesday before the game. I said, we got work to do. You could do that. That sounds literally insane. But he was.
What's he done for Rose Bowls and stuff?
Ice.
He flies.
Okay.
I found my conversation starter for the next time I see him at Yogi's.
There it is.
I told Ice yesterday, I'm like.
You got ask him if he's got his flights yet.
I know.
For
I'm
Austin.
like, Ice, I've seen a coworker at Yogi's twice in the past month and haven't approached him either time because I don't know him. Who do you think it is? I'm like, it's someone who like we kind of work with, but like not in the way that you might think. Like he's kind of quiet, so I'm just like, I'll just keep him. Like he doesn't know who I am, so I'm like, I'll just keep him moving. But I'm like, who do you think? And I'm like, it's Berm.
Now you got an icebreaker.
I walked past him twice. Now I have a conversation starter.
Didn't this start a feud with Isaiah once?
What happened there?
Yeah, what happened with that?
Didn't you ignore him?
No.
I thought.
Here's
so
I know what happened.
Big time in people on the streets,
I feel like I'm hearing this story again. Like
here's what
last time I
happened.
felt in. TLC's blowing somebody off at the bar.
No, I think you and I co-hosted.
Oh, it's Saturday, yeah.
Yeah. So actually, the first Fan Sports Sunday after, and so this is actually the full calendar of where we're at. And so this paints the picture. Austin and I co-hosted the first Fan Sports Sunday of the year after Ohio State lost to Miami. And so now we're about to have the last Fan Sports Sunday heading into football season. Yeah. So there's the bookends of it. The thing with Isaiah, I ran into Isaiah out in the real world. And I had known him, and now we've like hung out outside of work. But at the time, it was just like, oh, that's the dude from work. I go up to Isaiah. We have a quick dap up at a bar. But he didn't introduce me to his girlfriend, now fiance. And she's right next to him. And so I'm like, I kind of thought that he would just say, hey, Eden, this is Cole. Hey, Cole, this is Eden. And he didn't do it. Now, I've since met her. In fact, she's gotten concert tickets through me before, so we met.
Ooh.
And she brought it.
So you're the plug, huh?
She brought, well, to one concert, I was a plug. But she
got
brought
any Ella Langley hanging around back there?
No, I'm not giving those away. I'm using all of them. I promise. Celebrity crush right there. But she brought in pizza. But at the time, the first time that I was in the presence of Isaiah and his now fiance out in the real world, he just quick dap up and didn't introduce me. And I'm like, I kind of thought we were boys.
Yeah, because when he told me the story the other day, I was like, yeah, Bird would have been cool. Just go up to him. But I can understand that because if I don't have a certain relationship with someone and I see them in public, I don't know if it's an automatic, Austin, that I'm going to approach them.
Yeah. The funny thing is, this was Wednesday. We had him on the show on Tuesday, so I could have said, hey, I'm the dude who called you yesterday.
Does my voice sound familiar to you, sir? And do you like flying?
Yeah.
I understand.
I'm taking a train to Seattle.
I'm kind of on the other side of that. Like, if it's outside of
I'm leaving on Wednesday.
3.5 hour, 4 hour bubble for me, I hate driving. I can't be in the car that long. So that trip to Nebraska was what? When you guys went to Lincoln, how long was that?
I still flew.
He drove.
That was, I think, the 17 trip, and he drove. And I'm like, that is not happening. I'm not going to do it. And so if there
he may have paid more in gas than you paid.
100%.
Plane ticket.
100%. I mean, especially now, if you're trying to do that in November at $4 plus a gallon, it's not going to work. That math isn't mathing for us. But it's if there are connections, and there would be others, he can kind of tolerate direct flight to somewhere. And so when he was in Michigan, he would have like a little bit of a cheat code, and he could go get on the flight in Detroit and get out to Oregon, get out to Portland, get out to Seattle, whatever, for Washington. I would have to I'd be flying Columbus to Detroit, then we'd be on the same flight going out there. But now it's like he's moved down to Columbus. He's just going to have to, suck it up for some of these. Like if it's expensive, if it's a layover somewhere, you got no choice, man. Like we got to streamline this process.
Who is the better DJ in the car rides, Austin or Berm?
I would say 90% of our music tastes overlap.
Okay, good.
Except for there was a stretch like 6 or 7 years ago when he was really into The Weeknd. And I was like,
really?
These songs are terrible, man. Like
Can't feel his face?
They all sound the same. Like I know the hits, but he's like digging into the Weeknd deep cuts, and like every other song was the Weeknd.
Well, then you as a wrestling fan couldn't escape the Weeknd too, because WWE is always using him for WrestleMania and stuff.
He was everywhere. I said I'm getting surrounded by the Weeknd everywhere I go. I think that moment is largely past. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't heard a lot of Weeknd lately, and especially not on Berm's phone.
Oh man, that's good stuff. Hey, coming up next, it's Under Pressure on a Friday. Don't move. We're Rothman Ice right here on the Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
What does it mean to live here, serve here in the Ohio Army National Guard?
It means I can attend college full-time and not have to take out student loans to pay for my tuition.
It means I can work my civilian job during the week and support my state and nation in times of need.
You too can live here, serve here as a member of the Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with full-time benefits at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all of these rain chances going up. We're already tracking a few severe thunderstorm warnings.
We do have team coverage for you this morning, tracking outages and flooding.
Difficult for people to get out of their homes right now. Flood waters up to their knees.
Did you see that car?
Yes.
The wind flipped it over.
This is huge. The wind must have been so strong to rip this up out of the ground and take some of the sidewalk with it.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on the 10 TV app.
Inside or out, Billiards Plus has what you need for tailgating season. Fire up your new top-of-the-line grill for a perfect game day feast. Then keep the fun going inside with pool tables, shuffleboard, and more.
Billiards Plus, the store you won't want to leave.
Shop online or visit them on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Coghlan Kia of Dublin is now open, and we're offering grand opening savings at all 4 Coghlan Kia locations. Get 0% financing on select new 26 Kia Sportage and Sorrento. Pay 0 out of pocket when you lease a new 27 Seltos or 26 Sportage for $375 a month for 36 months. Get grand opening savings at Coghlan Kia.
Coghlan has the car for you.
With approved credit, 0% for 48 months equals $20.83 per 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Leases include 10,000 miles per year with 20 cents per mile over penalty. Excludes tax, title, and registration. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 8/31/26.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Our fantasy commish says for him it's all about the friendships. Cute, but I play to win. Like with Bet365. I get paid the second my team goes up big with early payout, and I get profit boost before the game starts with Early Bird Special. Enjoy the friends, Kevin. I'll take the wins on Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Claim an app. T&Cs apply.
At National Geographic Society, we believe in the power of wonder. It drives us to explore, pushes us to see the world differently, moves us to action. And we believe that today, wonder is more essential than ever. Wow. That's why we're supporting a new generation of explorers to ask big questions, make breakthroughs, and bring the future closer. Wonder awaits. Will you join us? Visit natgeo.org/wonder.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear. Strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Another reason why Ohio is now ranked the #1 state for business by CNBC. This is what unstoppable feels like. We did it together, Ohio. Our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
If only there was a radio show that constantly talked about Ohio State athletics. Well, good news. It's real, baby. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll enjoy a mostly sunny sky for the rest of your Friday. Good stuff out there with highs in the lower 80s. There's a tiny chance a shower could pop up. Overnight, mostly clear skies, lows back around 60. For your weekend, mostly sunny on Saturday, 83. Warmer on Sunday, sunshine, 87. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Let's see. High school, Buckeyes, Browns, kids in the retention pond. It must be Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Football is good. The Fan. Rothman and Ice present Under Pressure.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Get 50% off all window styles plus no payments for 2 years. Visit windownation.com.
All right, Austin, let's get to it. Austin Ward in the house today on I'll call it a Football Friday.
It is
Fine.
a Football
It's a Football Friday. Let's get to it. You want to lead us off, Big Dog? You ready to go?
Well, if I'm going to talk about quarterbacks, coaches under pressure, just look no further than North Carolina. I talked about Bill Belichick and this failed experiment, and we had over and unders how long we're going to watch this game. That is a huge amount of pressure for someone with all those Super Bowl rings, being paid $10 million a year, acting like he's going to come in and win right away, give them NFL team number 33 down there in Chapel Hill. It has not, to put it mildly, worked out at all. If you don't win in week one, and if even worse, if you get embarrassed again by TCU in the opener, that pressure becomes almost untenable, and I wonder how long North Carolina can even wait. So, yeah, if they look competitive, that might alleviate some of that pressure that's mounting for him, but I'm not even all that confident that will happen. So, Bill Belichick under fire here.
I think this is set up for at the end of the season, Bill Belichick and North Carolina have decided to, quote, part ways. I think they'll give him that respect. I don't think he's going to want to do this for much longer because I still don't understand the why in this. There was the conspiracy theory, if you will, that I'll take the job, hand it over to my son. His son, it sounds like he's dealing with some serious kind of illnesses going on right now. So we'll see what that looks like, but it just has never felt right to me, and I don't think the product on the field is going to show itself. And it's interesting because Mac Brown showcased that you can do some solid things down there at Chapel Hill. And you've got all the Jordan stuff attached to the program as well. We know what the driving force is for North Carolina, and it's basketball. There's no debating that. But it's not like it's just a dud of a program to where you can't get it off the ground. And you would think with his appeal and his resume that this thing would have felt a lot better than what it does at the moment.
Also, Jacob Reimer, cover your ears. You cannot be solely a basketball program anymore and completely ignore football. You're leaving too much revenue on the table. And North Carolina, I think they thought they could, take a shortcut. Oh, an NFL coach is available, and think about what that'll open up for evaluation through the transfer portal and development and understanding how to get guys prepared for the next level. He's also 80 years old. He's not at the mental capacity and physical capacity that he was when he was winning Super Bowls, and New England saw that firsthand as well. So obviously it was a huge misfire. And I bet that it will look pretty ugly tomorrow.
I am going with Gary Patterson. Speaking of TCU, USC, we'll get a look at them this year. You go back to last year and you look at some of their losses to ranked opponents. They gave up 30-plus to Illinois. They gave up 42 against Oregon. Those are the things that need to get corrected. TLC's Golden Domers put 34 on them as well. If they're going to be serious, and they think they have a serious team this year based off of everything that I've heard, the confidence in Lincoln Riley's voice, it seems like he is truly bought in. A lot of head coaches are, but it sounds different and feels different to me this year. But if we're talking about on Monday, I mean, my goodness, did you see San Jose State picking up these third downs and getting into the red zone and cashing in? Then you got to sound the alarms a little bit, and that obviously is going to lower their ceiling to what they can be. I don't think they're a national championship contender this season. I think they no doubt can be a thorn in the side of the big dogs of the Big Ten this year. Ohio State will make the trip out there this year, but that's what I'm looking at, A-Dub. First on my list is Gary Patterson in the defensive unit for the Trojans tomorrow against San Jose State.
I think it's a great pick, and I found it to be a fascinating hire when it was made. It's not someone at the peak of their game anymore. The same way that we're talking about Bill Belichick, I don't think Gary Patterson is entirely washed up. I don't think he's forgotten defensive football, but the game is a little bit different than when he was cranking through high-level Horned Frogs teams and competing on the national landscape. And, maybe it'll be beneficial to him to not be at the top of the pyramid for USC and just gets to focus on defense and scheme and getting on the chalkboard and all that. He probably doesn't even need to do a ton of recruiting at the level that he used to, especially with the money that USC is throwing around to alleviate some of those concerns. But, how is that going to look for him? I think it's a great one to bring up because USC has to be dramatically improved on defense if they're going to even be on the fringe of the playoff conversation.
And then if you are the decision makers out there at USC, you got to start looking at Lincoln Riley and saying, okay, time and time again, this is the same movie that we've watched. And while, yes, he's got cachet, he's got a nice resume, he's done a good job of turning quarterbacks into either Heisman winners or first overall picks, first round picks, all of that stuff. But it's got to be more than that, right? And they want to get back to where they were years ago with Pete Carroll and that crew. What do you got next, A-Dub?
I think Scotty Scheffler, he probably isn't really feeling it, and he doesn't seem to care about PGA Tour Player of the Year awards and all of that. But when you look at the Tour Championship and reconfiguring how that worked and trying to go out there and earn it on the course, there's just felt like there's been something about his year that's not been as good as it could have been, and that there was meat left on the bone. What's this weekend going to look like for him? Because if all the stories are true, and there was just one on golf.com this week about him just cleaning out the pockets of Siwoo Kim and Gary Woodland at his home game and how ruthlessly competitive he is. I imagine that he actually does want that PGA Player of the Year award, and getting that along with a huge check in the Tour Championship. You could pick anybody. They're all going to feel the heat of playing for that much money on the final weekend of the PGA Tour season. But you know that Scotty wants that more than anybody else. And can he meet that moment when he's had a season that by his own sky-high standards has fallen just a bit short?
What is that check looking like for the old Tour Championship?
You win this weekend, that's $10 million, Maddie. There's been other years where you had the bonus structure paying out on top of that. A one-time, one-weekend tournament, $10 million check coming out.
Unreal, man. $10 million for what? Let's call it 5 to 6 days of work, because I know some of these guys will get there maybe Tuesday or whatever and get a round or two in, but my goodness, crazy. Just money in the world of golf in general can kind of blow your mind, where you look at where you can finish in some of these tournaments and still go home with a nice little check.
Imagine being on the Live Tour before the funding was pulled. It's like, you don't even need to win. You just show up and here you go. Here's a 6-figure check. I'm like, really?
Right.
Thanks for coming out, man. All right. See you later.
No doubt. I'm going to the world of baseball tonight. Tarek Skubal. Probably heard of him. One of the best pitchers in the game. He's going back to Detroit for the first time tonight since the trade. He's living good right now with the LA Dodgers. Things have been pretty solid for him. Last couple starts have been good, but this is just going to be different, right? I don't care who you are. You spent so much time there. Interested to see the dynamic amongst the fan base and how they treat him today. Once he gets this behind him, I think he'll be super duper locked in, but I just think there's a lot of pressure to showcase the why and why they made this move. And he's got to deliver and showcase to the Dodger fan base that I'm going to be able to go into some of these tough environments in the playoffs and be an absolute dude. So I can't wait to see what it looks like. We'll talk to Jensen Lewis about this more at 2:30. But one of the biggest names in the sport, no doubt under some pressure tonight to go back to a place he's very familiar with and deliver. So I'm going Tarek Skubal, lefty, for the LA Dodgers, putting him on the pressure list tonight.
Did he say a couple weeks ago that he was hoping in the offseason that it would work out again with Detroit? I can't remember.
Yeah, I did see that. And I was like, what? Huh?
What are you talking about?
Didn't just stay.
And how's Detroit going to pay for that?
Exactly. So I think he was maybe just trying to throw the fan base a bone there. You know what I mean?
Take it easy on me when I'm back there in a couple weeks.
Hey, I may come back. Don't boo me. So, yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we all know what's probably going to happen. We'll get breaking news from Jeff Passan or whoever. He signed a big old contract with the Dodgers, and then everybody's going to roll their eyes as they've been doing. You got anybody else you want to hit up?
Yeah, I mean, just that coward Sami Zayn. He ruined my Friday night last week. I really thought that KO, and there's some clips maybe on Allie's phone. I told Lib, I was like, that feels like AI. My reaction when KO came back at SummerSlam was off the charts. And then he had that match won, Maddie, as you know, last week on SmackDown against CM Punk. And then the interference from his old best friend, frenemy, Samuel Zayn.
It's a snake. It's always been a snake.
But now you've got KO coming after him.
Yeah.
You're going to have Punk upset with Sami Zayn. Cody's not happy with him. Randy Orton's lurking around somewhere. I would not want to be Sami Zayn, but you know what? He deserves that pressure.
He does. And no doubt, WWE in our home state today.
I can't believe you and I are not there.
I know. Up in Cleveland doing a double taping. I was talking to Dylan about it earlier. He was thinking about maybe taking his daughter up there. I don't know if he's pulling the trigger or not, but they're in our backyard. If you're interested, get on up there to Cleveland. I love that you ended pressure with that. Austin. Coming up in 2 minutes, Sam Monson from the Check the Mic podcast. He joins us to talk all things National Football League. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
It's a great feeling doing business with John Hinderer Honda.
Come to John Hinderer Honda in Heath and lease a new Honda HR-V LX all-wheel drive for just $289 a month for 36 months. Shop our inventory and drive away in an affordable, versatile Honda SUV. Get all the benefits with none of the stress. Just $289 a month now at John Hinderer Honda.
See dealer for details. It's a great feeling doing business with John Hinderer Honda.
Our double hung is as good as it gets. There's something really simple. It's called an interlock. We interlock our windows. The interlock is the absolute best way to alleviate air infiltration. With the interlock, it's harder to break into. When you interlock the sashes, it makes a better window. It's just a darn good window, and we're very proud of it.
Call Rizzotti today at 777-4806.
Welcome back to Yeah, That's a Pepper Thing. First up, we've got Harrison wrapping his Dr. Pepper in a tiny quilt so it feels at home. Oh, how tender. That's a pepper thing. And over to Becca, who's whispering affirmations to her can.
You're sweet. You're unique. You're the best thing I ever poured over ice.
She swears it makes it taste better. It's not a science thing, but it's a pepper thing. Why do they all do it? All for that sweet, delicious, truly one-of-a-kind taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a pepper thing.
Steve Air with USA Insulation. Let's do some quick math together. Your energy bill this summer, probably one of the highest you've ever paid. Now imagine that same bill all winter long. That's what you're going to be looking at if you don't fix your insulation. You can still get the best deal of the year. We foam your walls, we insulate your attic for free. That ends August 31st. You don't want to miss it. The insulation pays for itself in energy savings. Call before August 31st for your free attic insulation. 529-2440 or usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
These two have a ton in common. Anthony loves hockey, and Matty's always cold. This is Rothman and Ice.
That it is. Welcome back in. Austin Ward in the house today. Going to use right now the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline and bring on Sam Monson. Check the Mic podcast. Make sure you have that in rotation if you're an NFL fan. It's awesome. Sam, what's up, my man? How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing well, doing well. Excited about some football. Let's get right to it and get your thoughts on Todd Monken's approach to the quarterback situation, because Dylan Gabriel showcased some positive things last night. Doesn't seem like he's really going to be in the mix too much this year for regular season action, but just the plan moving forward that it sounds like Todd Monken is rolling with. What are your thoughts, my man?
Yeah, I don't really understand the approach they've taken to that whole dynamic. I kind of get excluding Gabriel from the competition based off last season. I think what he didn't show and what Shedeur Sanders did show, I think it's kind of reasonable to sort of flip the order that they were drafted in based off what they showed during their rookie season. So then you end up in this competition where it's young quarterback going into year two versus Deshaun Watson, and let's see what he can do coming back off these Achilles injuries and maybe get somewhere back to something approaching his better play. That would have been the hope, that we know somewhere back in time there was an elite quarterback in Deshaun Watson, but it's now years since we've seen that guy, and obviously for a different team. So they would have been hoping they saw something like that in training camp and preseason. And if they did, that's the best quarterback on this roster. There's no evidence that guy is anywhere to be found anymore. And so you're dealing with, well, what is my ceiling now with these quarterbacks? And Shedeur Sanders may not be any better than Deshaun Watson right now, but he is more aggressive with the football. And you see that basically the second he steps onto the field, almost every time he goes out there, he's trying to make big plays. He's trying to target deeper down the field and create some explosives. And, yeah, he's going to make some mistakes as well, but he's a young quarterback that at least brings some upside. At this point, I think they believe that their quarterback of the future is not currently on the roster, and I think that's probably true. but at least Shedeur Sanders could maybe, audition for a backup job this year going forward.
I think that's the most fascinating part of this. And the Browns have told us what they think of Shedeur right now by electing to start Deshaun Watson, Sam. It's like, there's part of me that wonders if there's, I don't know, mental damage done, relationship damage done with Shedeur Sanders, that there's no path back for him with the Browns moving forward. That's the part that just fascinates me the most now moving forward with this decision.
Yeah, but there's also this sort of whole dynamic of, you keep hearing things about, it's not a good thing that the fan base seems to actively despise QB1 right now. I mean, that's a very unusual dynamic in the NFL. You don't normally have a fan base really hate the guy that's the starting quarterback for the team. Usually, if there's any kind of reservation, it's because that guy's young and unproven and there's no confidence, but you're at least sold on the upside, the optimism. Maybe the young player gets better. Nobody's sold on that for Deshaun Watson. So you have this situation where you're hearing things like, well, they want to give him a chance away from the home fans, and first couple of games are on the road, and it's easier to bench him and go to the young guy than it is the other way around. And this is just a depressing way of thinking about the position.
So let's talk about some things that you're really buying in on as far as training camp things that you think are legit. Because some of this stuff you can get fooled with trickery, right? This time of year, preseason stuff, things that you're seeing, some of the videos coming out of training camp. Is there something that's jumped out to you for a specific team that you've seen that you like what they're building and you think is legitimate?
Yeah, well, the rule of thumb with preseason is that if it confirms your priors, it's meaningful and there's something to it. And if it goes against what you thought to begin with, it's just preseason and training camp. It doesn't mean anything. I'm buying into the idea that the Bengals traded for a truly elite player in Dexter Lawrence. He looks back to his best. The last couple of years were relative down years for him. He was still very good, but injury was the first problem, and then I think last year he kind of showed up unmotivated. He was already, in the midst of contract negotiations with the Giants. It wasn't going well. He wanted out, and it sounds like he kind of showed up, a little bit overweight, a little bit out of shape, and you didn't get to see his best stuff. But he's been a force all the way through Bengals training camp since they traded for him. He's been unblockable. The offensive line is basically talking about how they felt good when they saw him go up against another team and saw, oh, look, it's not us. Like, he's actually that good, destroying other people as well. I mean, if the Bengals traded for the vintage top-tier version of Dexter Lawrence, that's a massive game changer for that defense.
Sam, is there on the flip side of that, a contender, a betting favorite that you are a little bit more skeptical of, you think, than maybe the general public?
Not necessarily that I'm more skeptical. I think I think it's wide open this year. You've got the Rams and the Seahawks, who everyone is going to talk up. The Rams, I think, are maybe the best team on paper to head into a season, like the biggest favorites that we've seen for years. And obviously the Seahawks are the defending champions and have a good team as well and should be able to contend. Outside of that, though, I think there's a lot of teams that could be in the mix. Maybe the one that I would be most worried about would be Philadelphia, because of this whole sort of shift in philosophy on offense, and trade away A.J. Brown. There seems to be a concerted effort to force Jalen Hurts to play the game in a different way than he's been playing it the last few years, with the theory being that that's how you get the best version of Jalen Hurts out there. And we've seen that kind of philosophy work in the past. When Matt LaFleur first arrived in Green Bay and kind of did that to Aaron Rodgers, you got back-to-back MVP seasons out of him. But I'm sure there's a lot of instances where it doesn't work either, and you're just sort of forcing a square peg into a round hole, and it doesn't work as well. And that would be the risk in Philadelphia.
Sam Monson from the Check the Mic podcast joining us here on Rothman and Ice. Go follow him on Twitter at Sam Monson NFL. Sam, we saw a few teams make changes at the head coaching spot this offseason. Now that you've gathered more information from these head coaches, seen how they've gone about some of their business in training camp in the preseason, which new head coach are you buying into right now that you feel like has got some good momentum going that could carry into the regular season?
I think I'm buying either side of the kind of Baltimore Ravens situation. I think the coach they let go and the one they brought in are both going to look very good this year. Jesse Minter, I think, might be able to immediately kind of click his fingers and fix the biggest problem with the Ravens last year, which was their defense. And if the defense goes back to being a very good unit, and they've made some additions there as well personnel-wise, all of a sudden the Ravens are contenders. We've got an MVP caliber quarterback in Lamar Jackson. There's a lot to like about that team if the defense goes back to being a top-tier unit. But equally, I think John Harbaugh is a good head coach, and I think he's already – that Giants team is not untalented. They've got a lot of good players, particularly when Malik Nabers gets back healthy. And I think John Harbaugh might be able to make that team move in the right direction pretty quickly. So I think kind of both sides of that dynamic are going to look pretty good this year.
Sam, I don't know if this is a product of the fact that I covered Will Howard when he was in college or the fact that we're right here in the heart of the AFC North, but it feels like there's a lot more attention on what exactly the Steelers are doing with their quarterback depth chart and how many they'll keep and who they'll keep and what they'll do than I can remember. Is that the case nationally, or just the fact that I'm paying too much attention to it?
No, I think it's the case because for a couple of reasons. Number one, Rodgers isn't really playing in preseason. But number two, we've sort of got the official word that it's his last dance, So these quarterbacks aren't just vying for second, third spots on the depth chart and kind of being kept around. They're auditioning for the future. These guys are auditioning to be the succession plan to Aaron Rodgers. And because he's a guy of that age, there's also a pretty healthy chance that he gets hurt or misses some time this season. And those guys are going to have an opportunity to change the plan going forward. Even if their plan is a quarterback in the draft next year or, some other solution to a long-term answer a quarterback, if one of those guys gets an opportunity late in the season and, strings together 5-6 games of good play, suddenly they might be rewriting the plan. And those guys could actually win themselves the job going forward. So, no, I think it is an area of focus. I think that's a really fascinating job this season is that backup quarterback situation in Pittsburgh.
Let's lock in on the Dallas Cowboys because it reminds me so much of Cincinnati a year ago. I don't know if you view it that way too. Like on paper, really good offense, but questions on defense. And so now Dallas brings in the former Buckeye and Caleb Downs. We know what they have in place with Pickens and CD, but do you have confidence that on the defensive side of things, Dallas can have that unit hold up their end of the bargain and kind of match what Dak and that crew can do?
Yeah, I really do view them as like an NFC equivalent of Cincinnati. I think both teams are in a very similar spot in terms of elite offense. That offense is going to cook. It's going to be really good going forward. And the defense that was just so bad for several games last season, it didn't matter that the offense was that good. And I think in both cases, they've made some real significant upgrades on that side of the ball. And the benchmark, the target line is not elite. They don't need a great defense. They just need one that's not a disaster. So I think both defenses have probably achieved that with the moves they've made. We talked about Dexter Lawrence in Cincinnati. I really like what Caleb Downs could do to that defense. I think he's the guy that everybody overthought in this draft process. Arguably the best defensive player in the nation for basically his entire college career in multiple different places, playing multiple different sort of styles of safety. And then we got the draft time and everyone just went, but he's a little small. Maybe he's not special. Let's drop him, a bunch of spots from the top of this draft. I think the Cowboys may have gotten a steal and a difference-making player that can completely transform the way that secondary plays.
I was just going to ask you, Sam, which of those first-round Buckeyes between Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese and Carnell Tate and Caleb Downs went to the best spot, and who might have an inside track to Rookie of the Year honors, but it feels like you already have made your pick there.
Well, I like the landing spot of all of them, and I think actually they're all very talented, and any of them could have really good seasons. But I just think that Caleb Downs is the guy who was special from the group. The others had talent or they've got, special physical traits or special potential. But Caleb Downs is like the blue chip guy that was just, the best player on the field basically the entire time throughout his college career. And then we got to the draft and everyone just sort of decided that didn't matter anymore and moved in a different direction. I think that happens sometimes in particular with safeties because the position has kind of become devalued in the NFL. But we've also seen that when you find a guy that is a difference maker, it does transform a defense. If you can find a Kyle Hamilton or Nick Emanwari last year for Seattle or Brian Branch for Detroit, these guys still move the needle in a huge way, and Caleb Downs might be that guy.
Real quick in our last minute, Sam, highlight maybe an injury or two that's really alarming for you because there's been a few of them around the league, but high on your list of alarming injuries right now. What are a couple of those?
Yeah, there's definitely been a few. I feel bad for the Chargers losing Tyler Biadasz at center. I think that could be a big problem for them. It was a nice move to lock him up before free agency, address that offensive line. You take him out of the lineup, and suddenly that interior trio looks pretty rough on paper again. That was a huge issue last season. I mean, that was the thing that held that team back. And sure, they're going to get their tackles back this year, Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater, but I worry about that interior of the offensive line if you already lost one player and the other two don't look great on paper.
He's Sam Monson, co-host of the Check the Mic podcast. Go check that out. Follow him on X at Sam Monson NFL. As always, we appreciate your time, brother, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Anytime, guys. Take it easy.
There you go, Sam Monson from the Check the Mic podcast. When we come back, we're playing Fill in the Blanks, college football edition right around the corner, so don't move. Play along with us. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
OAR, 3 decades tour. September 10th at Kimba Live Outdoor. Featuring all of the band's career-defining hits and fan favorites. With special guests Gavin DeGraw and KT Tunstall. Get tickets now at Penn Station box office or at AXS.com. Don't miss OAR. Brought to you by Bud Light and From OS Productions.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
AR, between road trips and hauling gear, you ever think about a Suburban?
Absolutely. I could fit everybody and every animal in there. McDaniel GM Superstore. Got my truck there, and it was the easiest deal I've ever made.
No hidden fees?
None. And right now, the 26 Suburban is up to $10,000 off MSRP.
$10,000, that's money left in your pocket and the space you need.
Terms and conditions apply for qualified buyers. Head to McDaniel GM Superstore, north on 23 off Route 95 in Marion. McDanielGMSuperstore.com.
Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Leon was about to leave the military.
My biggest concern was, what am I going to do next?
He found out about My Computer Career and their military transition program.
The Cyber Warrior program takes you from not knowing anything about a computer at all to being a subject matter expert.
How long is that going to take?
In the span of 4 months, I was able to get 4 different certifications.
4 months? Leon's advice?
Very highly recommended.
Become a certified cyber warrior in just months at mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary. VA education benefits available to those who qualify.
I lost my brother.
I lost my sister.
I lost my best friend.
Each year, Ohio loses some of its best and brightest to train car accidents.
Everyone knows that crossing is bad.
Stop signs and crossbucks just aren't enough. How can you help? Report bad crossings at angelsontrack.org. That's angelsontrack.org. Because bad crossings kill good drivers. Sponsored by Angels on Track, aired by OAB and this station.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My best advice to you when hiring a lawyer for your injury case is simple. If you know court personnel, ask them who they'd hire. They know. If you know an insurance adjuster, ask them. They know. And then ask them about us. Ask them about Morgan & Morgan. They know. I look forward to talking to you soon. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm for the people.
Injured? Dial Pound Law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
At St. Jude, every innovation we make is a moment we give to children with cancer everywhere. But we can't do it without you.
Learn more at stjude.org.
As summer starts winding down, it always seems to happen the same way. The backpacks are packed, the school forms are signed, and suddenly the calendar fills up faster than you ever expected. Between the last-minute appointments, school shopping, and getting everyone back into a routine, it's easy for those projects around the house to keep getting pushed to next weekend. Here's the good news. Your roof doesn't have to be one of them. At Newman Roofing, our team of value-driven professionals makes the process simple. You'll get honest answers, clear communication, and recommendations built around your home's needs. No sales pitches. Whether it's a new roof, siding, or gutters, we'll help you check it off your to-do list with the kind of white glove service that's earned the trust of families across Central Ohio for more than 30 years. So instead of worrying about your home, you can spend what's left of this summer making memories with the people who matter most. Newman Roofing, built around family. Ours protecting yours. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com today.
Tyvis Powell is a contradiction. He'll police the food you have on your plate and shame you into dieting. Also, he has a burner Uber Eats account so his wife doesn't know what he's eating. Timon and Tyvis.
Weekday mornings at 6.
The Fan. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Anthony can follow direction very well, as long as he first prints out MapQuest. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Welcome back in. A-Dub in the house. Austin Ward, get you ready. Man, we got an official game week next week, brother, when we get to Monday. I don't know if I'm ready for it. Like Monday, when we crack the airwaves, Era will be back. We'll have AK in the house. You in studio on Tuesdays this year at 2:30.
Jim Lachey on Monday at 12:30.
There it is, man. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. This is what it's all about. So, yeah, looking forward to having you guys join the party and us go on another journey to see what this program can do. And it just sounds like, A-Dub, things are set up for them.
Yeah, you say you're not ready. I am ready. Hey, all this talk about lawsuits and eligibility.
Oh, my goodness.
Protect College Sports Acts and Brendan Sorsby. I get it's so exhausting.
Let's get the ball. Let's get to some ball.
And then you get to tomorrow and next Saturday at 12:30 in the Horseshoe. And it's like, this is what we love. And we forget all about it for 3.5 glorious months.
And now it's back, baby. And now we're ready to rock and roll.
Now we don't have, we're done. That's why, USC's roster locks today. So they can't be involved in any of this NFL shenanigans anymore. They're done. That's what we all need to be. Get to that next point, have those rosters in place, and forget about everything else.
I think on the NFL side of things, roster cutdown day is Sunday. They got to get that from 90 to 53, and so it'll be interesting to see what ripple effects we get from that and what happens around the league and what teams pick up guys from other teams, because sometimes you can find a guy that maybe can help you out. All right, TLC's got a game lined up for us. A little fill-in-the-blank college football style. So what do you got on deck for us, my man?
I guess we could start here. Let's start in the conference that they care about. The team that you are most curious about within the Big Ten is blank.
Most curious about? Rick Neuheisel talked about Washington, and I think they are a fascinating team. They were able to retain an expensive quarterback, and they had to deal with some of the offseason back and forth. Jed Fish has done a really good job there. I enjoyed the trip out to Seattle. It is a hostile place to go. It does hold noise. I don't know if their defense is going to make them a championship contender, but in terms of teams that could make the race or break the race and disrupt something for a USC or sneak out an upset or maybe be a fourth team into the playoff, I think Washington is right there on the cusp.
I like it. That's a good call. Just wanted to pull up their schedule real quick. 17th in the country right now. First ranked matchup for them will be at USC October 3rd, then back-to-back. They will host Iowa on a Friday night. So we'll find out more about them. It's Washington State, Utah State, Eastern Michigan, and Minnesota out of the gate for them. So we'll see. No doubt. They should be able to get that. I'm going with Matt Campbell and Penn State.
Yeah.
Very curious out of the gate, just because you bring over so many guys from the Cyclones. I think it was right around 24, 25. I read somewhere. Still some talented guys from the old regime over at Penn State as well. You got Rocco Beck coming in. I don't know what his ceiling's like. I feel like there's a safe-ish floor with him. I don't think he's going to be in the mix with any of the top big dog quarterbacks around the conference this year. But I think he's always been a steady-ish hand over there in the Big 12. And I like when guys don't have to really strip everything down roster-wise in year one. And then you look at their schedule, and it's not all the heavy hitters this year in the Big Ten Conference. So they
by design.
By design, exactly. So they'll get USC, Michigan, Washington. That's it. No Oregon, no Indiana, no Ohio State. So you want to talk about an opportunity to make an impression. He absolutely has a chance to do that. And so expectations for Penn State fans, I don't know where they're at. We saw them make a trip to the semifinal in the playoff just a couple of years ago. I don't know if that's realistic in year one. I am just fascinated by out of the gate what this looks and feels like under Matt Campbell's watch.
Yeah, for me, it's just thinking, would Iowa State have been a playoff contender? And the answer to me is no. But a lot of people believe in Matt Campbell, and blending that roster with the people who didn't leave Penn State, with what else they were able to bring in recruiting through the transfer portal. There was a story a couple weeks ago, I guess when James Franklin was making the rounds at ACC Media Days, and we were able to bring in this amount of guys from our recruiting class and from the Penn State roster. And I believe that total was like 8.
Yeah, it's not much.
So there's a lot more people in Happy Valley and that were leaving Ames, Iowa that believe in Matt Campbell than ever did in James Franklin.
No doubt.
The team that you are most curious about outside of the Big Ten is blank.
Texas Tech, I think. I don't really understand where everyone hates us. No one actually thinks about you. This is the first time that anyone actually is devoting any time to Texas Tech's offseason, really ever. And we all are looking at you and judging you based on trying to get Brendan Sorsby eligible in the face of the only clear-cut rule that's ever been in the book. But whether they succeed or fail, whether Cody Campbell spends another $60 million, is their blueprint going to work? Did they need Brendan Sorsby to actually be a contender? I'm now more interested in Texas Tech than I have ever been before, but it's not because I want to see them fail, although I am incredibly exhausted talking about Cody Campbell.
Yeah, I'll go to the SEC for mine. I think that's a good call for sure. I'm going LSU.
Well, I'm not going to say that.
It's LSU and Lane Kiffin.
No.
Just this whole villain role that Lane Kiffin is playing. Honestly, too, it's the on-the-field stuff. Sam Leavitt, is he that dude? How special can he be? The first month for them, it's Clemson. Talk about a program that fall from grace.
Yeah.
That's Clemson, but that'll be must-see TV, 7:30 kick on ABC on the 5th. But then it's that Week 3 trip to Ole Miss. You talk about football cinema, man. That's got a chance to be that with that environment. And then they follow that up with a home game against Texas A&M. So they'll face some resistance early on. Can he get that thing popping off right out of the gate? So LSU just very, very fascinated by what type of energy we get from Lane. More importantly, what does it look like on the field? Because you talk about high expectations. Their fan base is looking at him and thinking, all the money we spent, what you can do on offense, some of the guys that we have and some of the guys that you brought in, this should be a team that is at least good this year. I don't know if they'll be great, but I'm interested in LSU.
Do you think that the Grove will be more hostile? Will be investing in golf balls and mustard bottles? Will it be more welcoming or less welcoming than Neyland was when Lane returned there?
I think it'll be less welcoming this time around, just because of the high and dry feeling that they have of him leaving a year ago. I think it's going to be hard for people to get over that. They're going to be so behind Trinidad Chambliss. What he did after, Lane left, how could you not? The dude balled out, was really impressive. But, yeah, that is the definition of Hornets' Nest, to say the least, is going to be that environment.
Yeah, there was almost a decade removed before, Lane was back there coaching Ole Miss against Tennessee. These emotions and that injury is about as raw and fresh as it could possibly be.
100%. Coming up next, after an update, whole bunch of Buckeyes everywhere in the NFL this season. Austin and I are going to highlight a few of those guys we cannot wait to see, and we'll tell you why right after the break. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Where can you listen to the #1 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes? On Columbus's #1 station. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Whether it's water heater trouble, clogged or leaky pipes, or sub pump worries, Logan Services has you covered. With service calls for just $79. We're fast, friendly, and here to help you with your plumbing projects. Logan Services.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all of these rain chances going up. We're already tracking a few severe thunderstorm warnings.
We do have team coverage for you this morning, tracking outages and flooding.
Difficult for people to get out of their homes right now. Flood waters up to their knees.
Did you see that car?
Yes.
The wind flipped it over.
This is huge. The wind must have been so strong to rip this up out of the ground and take some of the sidewalk with it.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on the 10 TV app.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Did you know you can save up to $35 on your next fill-up? Redeem your points for big savings at the pump. Exclusions apply. See site for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Anthony Rothman here. Unlock your home's potential with a home equity line of credit from Telhio. For a limited time, receive a special rate as low as 6.25% APR. Visit telhio.org to apply.
Member NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Labor Day deals are looking good at Lowe's. Save $10 on 1-gallon cans and $50 on 5-gallon pails of select interior paint via rebate. Plus, get 2 2.5-quart or 3-quart mums for just $8. A fresh look and savings? Even better. Labor Day deals are on now at Lowe's, in-store and online. Valid through 9/9. While supplies last. Mum sizes vary by location and exclude Alaska and Hawaii. See store at Lowe's.com for more details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
Coghlan Kia of Dublin is now open, and we're offering grand opening savings at all 4 Coghlan Kia locations. Get 0% financing on select new 26 Kia Sportage and Sorrento. Pay 0 out of pocket when you lease a new 27 Seltos or 26 Sportage for $375 a month for 36 months. Get grand opening savings at Coghlan Kia. Coghlan has the car for you.
With approved credit, 0% for 48 months equals $20.83 per 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Leases include 10,000 miles per year with 20 cents per mile over penalty. Excludes tax, title, and registration. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 8/31/26.
CEC Turf and Tractor is growing. We're proud to welcome Green & Sons Equipment's Mount Sterling and Marysville locations. Same hometown service you trust, now with the strength of one of Ohio's largest Kubota dealers. Visit CECTurfandTractor.com today.
Iconic summer moments deserve an iconic drink. Reach for Mountain Dew, an American original. From its beginnings in the foothills of Tennessee to your biggest summer yet. The refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew is the perfect companion to your American summer adventures. Enjoy the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Tasting great since '48. Look for Mountain Dew in stores near you at mountaindew.com. That's mountaindew.com.
There's a world of opportunity out there, beyond the typical 9 to 5, where purpose and grit come together, where the American spirit and ingenuity are welcomed in places that could really use your skills and your experience. We're talking about the Peace Corps, with volunteers living and working in communities around the globe. And it's been called the toughest job you'll ever love. Tough, because it asks so much of you. To dig deeper, get your hands dirty, to go that extra mile, to rise to the occasion and meet challenges head on. And the love part comes from being part of something bigger than yourself, from building bonds that last a lifetime. It's knowing your hard work transformed lives, including your own. After 65 years, the Peace Corps is still the toughest job you'll ever love. Explore opportunities in more than 60 countries. Learn about benefits and apply at peacecorps.gov/serve.
I take care of the kids, my dad, things at work, but I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression. Go to mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon, I'm Isaiah Jacob. The NCAA just announced they are proposing some major changes to the college football calendar starting in 2027. The biggest change would be shortening the January transfer portal from 15 days to just 10 starting January 1st. Follow me here. The college football season would also start earlier, with Week 1 games beginning in what is currently considered Week 0. The regular season would still end the Saturday after Thanksgiving. The changes still need to be formally approved in October. In baseball, the Guardians are rolling, winning 7 straight and now sitting just 2.5 games back in the Central. Cleveland hosts the Royals tonight at 7:10 and currently holds the final wild card spot. The Reds open a new series with the Cubs coming up this afternoon at 2:20. And this update is sponsored by High Bank Distillery Co. Locally inspired dishes and award-winning cocktails. Visit highbankco.com to make your reservation today. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. Find a physician or location near you at orthopedic1.com.
Hour number 3, welcome back in. Austin Ward kicking it with us today. Hope you guys are having a great start to your weekend. Bottom of the hour, 2:30. Jensen Lewis, he stops by. We'll talk Guardians, Reds, everything happening around Major League Baseball. I presented Justin Zwick with this question yesterday. I want to hit you with the same one. I got a party at my house, watch party for the game.
Okay.
You don't know what's on the menu, what I'm cooking up, but what are you hoping that I have at this watch party? So when Austin Ward gets invited to a football watch party, WrestleMania watch party, whatever it may be.
Yeah. I don't get invited to a lot of football watch parties.
Because you're usually at the games. Yeah, exactly. You're too busy for all of us.
Jen was out there in the lobby. He's like, well, what's your favorite tailgate food? She's asking everybody. I'm like, what's a tailgate, man? I don't get to go to those.
What's the new spread over there at the shoe? Did you try any of that stuff?
I didn't try any of it, but I mean,
they didn't hook up the media with.
Well, they did.
Taste test?
I
like the Matty Ice restaurant debut taste test.
I've got. They didn't have the champagne bottles out there, so Maddie didn't show up for that. I think I got to try and follow the rules during the week. TLC, it's you might hear my voice sometimes talking about Awaken 180 so, once or twice.
Yeah.
So I didn't test any of that stuff out, but it looks phenomenal. They've done a great job upgrading all that. But if it's you're talking, if we have a heat wave watch party, Sunday night's main event, I'm hoping there's just got to be pizza.
Okay.
Because on the weekend, the bets are off, and pizza is my favorite food, and there's not even a close second. So,
the toppings that you're looking for, though, the ideal pizza for Austin Ward is what?
How about from where?
Right now, Gallows, I think, is still the best in the city for me. They're number one. I like JT's.
Okay.
There's the OG one up on 161 that's by our house, so we've been getting that for 15 years. But I like Getaway Brewing in downtown Dublin as well. You get the pizza. They've got Detroit style or thin crust, kind of New York style, and the calzones we've been getting recently. All very good options for the Ward family. So we'll rotate it around those three primarily. But the rules for me with toppings, I'm pretty easy to get along with in any scenario. But I think Hawaiian is an abomination. I don't think that fruit belongs on pizza.
Does not.
I'll give a standing ovation.
Yeah,
not at all.
I will, if there are people, and my brother-in-law is one of them. He loves to, are we getting some Hawaiian pizza? Because Allie will occasionally.
You can't do that for the group. That's got to be a solo mission.
And if you like it, you're tentatively approaching the group. Like, is anybody else like Hawaiian?
No.
And I'm like, no, don't even order it. Don't bring it around me. I don't want to see it. It's horrifying.
Because some of these Hawaiian pizzas are you get like ham and pineapple and a little cinnamon. And I'm just like, what is this? This is not pizza anymore. This is just crazy work. So I'm 100% with you on that. Quick shout out to Kingy's Pizza, man. I don't think they get enough run out there in the Pickerington in that area. So shout out to Kingy's Pizza, man. Good stuff. Get on out there, Kingy's. Holla at your boy. Let's do some work together.
I think that's really what we got to do right there. And that's why I keep talking about my favorites. I'm just hoping they're because it works on the golf course sometimes. Shout out to the Ridge Golf and Gardens, the finest place in Central Ohio.
There it is.
But yeah, no pizza place ever you know what? Austin Ward said he likes our pizza, and he loves pizza. He knows pizza.
Yeah.
But so you're gonna have Austin Ward pubbing pizza places and Awaken 180 in back-to-back commercials on the.
I'll have to explain it. It's 80-20 during the week. We're locked in. That would be a fascinating juxtaposition. But Beamer's doing that right now. He's got Twin Peaks and Awaken 180. I don't know how they fit together.
They serve water at Twin Peaks.
There you go.
Do they? I don't
Salads,
know.
Yeah, some water.
Anybody wants water there? I don't know. But so I don't want to see fruit anywhere near my pizza, and I don't like olives. So if you're going,
keep cooking, Austin.
If you want the supreme, make sure that they get rid of all the olives. So they don't bring the whole thing down.
There it is.
You're a picky eater if you don't like olives.
I don't know if that qualifies as picky.
No, they don't taste like anything to me.
I don't think olives is this universal. Everybody across the board loves olives.
If you take a bite of pizza, you're not tasting olives.
I will. I definitely will.
100%.
Yeah.
What?
That's
no.
It's not like a mushroom to me.
They get drowned out by all the bread and sauce and cheese and all that.
It's like the only thing I would taste because I don't like them that much.
They're a waste of space, honestly, because you don't taste them. But the fact that you guys oh my gosh, this stands out.
Oh gosh. I can't stand the smell of olives. You open a jar of olives.
I forgot you had a very developed palate. That's why you're getting invited to restaurants for these.
You're talking to the taste king
over here.
Exactly,
the taste tester.
I'm the Black Gordon Ramsay. You better get it right. You better get it right. So, look, man, we had so much fun all show talking about college football, the Buckeyes on deck. A ton of these guys in the NFL in prominent positions and impactful positions. When you look at guys that were here in the league now on deck for another season, Austin, give me a guy or two to where you're really fascinated to follow him this year in the NFL.
Cannot wait to see K-Mac in Houston. That is a team that is already built to contend. Now, we're talking about the rookies, but I certainly want to see what C.J. Stroud does in a money year for him.
Yeah.
And if he can elevate, it's weird to talk about him in that light because some of the national conversation that has emerged, like, do you give him an extension? Like, guys winning playoff games every single year. Yeah, you want to keep that dude on your roster. He's the BPS. He's the ball placement specialist, but that's getting off track, which I just think you add Caden McDonald to that defense and they become even more stingy, even more dominant. They control the line of scrimmage. That's a scary thought. And so the Texans are not far away already. Obviously, they need CJ to take one more step forward if he's got it, which I think he does. But K-Mac going there and sitting throughout that first round, I think it's the story more than anything else. Also the personality, covering him for so many years. Love him, love his family. He was a joy to watch and grow and flourish. And then he got tortured on night one. And I think if you had told him going into the third week of April, you're going to have to sit there in the green room for that entire night and you're not going to get picked until early in that second round, I think there's a really good chance that he would still be in Columbus, which would be a whole nother matter. But, it worked out with a good fit, a good spot, and a team that's competitive right away.
Man, I tell you what, he's got an opportunity to make a name for himself right out of the game because I think the game I'm most fired up about is Texans and Bills. That's week 1 at home for Houston, and then they host Joe Burrow and the Bengals. So 2 of the elite quarterbacks coming to Houston, and he's sandwiched between Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. And so I think he's going to run into some advantageous situations as far as one-on-ones in the middle of that defensive line, and we've seen him take advantage of those here in Columbus.
But I need to let him know that he needs to leave Josh Allen and Joe Burrow alone. I mean, we cannot have the Wyoming legend getting hurt early on, and definitely the Bengals can't afford to have anything for Joey B. So I'm going to have to call in a favor. Probably won't comply, but at least the guy can ask.
Yeah, I mean, CJ, I think you laid it out well, man. He's kind of up against it, I think, in the minds in the front office when it comes to trust. Now, moving forward, you handle those 2 games, or at least look good in those first 2 games against 2 of the better quarterbacks. I think he's going to be in good shape. I'm going to the NFC for my first one. It's Arvell.
Yeah.
Arvell Reese in the mix with this defensive line unit out there in New York. And I should say linebackers as well, because he can play off ball, line of scrimmage. He can do all of those things. John Harbaugh seems charged up about what he's going to be able to do. I like that he doesn't have the weight of the world on him, first round pick and all of that. I think Abdul Carter's in store for a monster year this season, but you look at the other guys that are going to be rolling with him. I think Arvell Reese is going to be used in a way that we saw him here at Ohio State. I think he should. I think he's shown that, hey, put that on my plate, coach, and I have you. But I just think this defense, especially up front for the New York Giants, has a chance to be pretty special. Now, removing Dexter Lawrence from that equation, that's a massive hole to fill, literally and figuratively, with him. But I think the guys off the edge, man, are going to be flying in New York with Burns, Thibodeau, now Arvell, along with Abdul Carter. So that's an exciting unit for me to think about, but I think Arvell has a chance to put that unit specifically over the top and maybe have them viewed as one of the best defensive lines in the league.
And you wonder for Arvell, what would another year have done? He couldn't have raised his stock any higher, but in terms of knowing the game, understanding the game, he's still someone who was 1 year of starting at linebacker for Ohio State, and James Laurinaitis and Matt Patricia did a truly amazing job with that when you're basically 18 months removed from him shuffling back and forth between learning pass rush, playing at defensive end, getting out there and having a year as the third linebacker 2 years ago and contributing in that way for the national champs. But the education process for him, there was still maybe more runway in front of him. How quickly does he hit the ground running at the NFL level? As you mentioned, he has every single physical tool that you could ever ask. And the guy's 8 feet tall, and he's bulletproof, and he runs a 4.340. We don't have any questions physically, but I think now he's been in an NFL defense with Matt Patricia. Now he is in the NFL Is he going to be able to make that acclimation as smooth as possible? Can't wait to find out.
I mean, you just know defensive line coaches, defensive coordinators love when they can just unleash the hounds, man, and have 3 to 4 guys late in games, too, that can just hunt your quarterbacks in ways. It worked out for Seattle last year, helping them win the Super Bowl. Now New York's going to try to do that. Let's sprinkle maybe a couple more of these into pre-snap reads, A-Dub, and we'll continue this conversation right after the break. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
It's time to get a master's class in all things Ohio State and Big Ten football. Join Skip Mossick, Paul Keels, and Jim Lachey for Buckeye Roundtable.
Monday night at 6.
The Fan.
Football fans, it's almost time to draft your team and kick off another season. This year, take your fantasy football draft party to Twin Peaks, where cold drinks made from scratch food and wall-to-wall TVs make your local lodge the ultimate draft day headquarters. Round up your league, grab a table, and get ready for the picks, the rivalries, and a full season of bragging rights. Whether you're defending your title or drafting for the first time, start your fantasy season at Twin Peaks. Book your fantasy football draft party at your local lodge today.
It's a great feeling doing business with John Hinderer Honda.
It's the perfect time to upgrade at John Hinderer Honda. Get 0% APR for 48 months. Any model in stock is included. Shop our new inventory and drive away in a dream car at John Hinderer Honda in Heath. Find us online at hindererhonda.com.
80% off MSRP to finance with approved credit. See dealer for details.
It's a great feeling doing business with John Hinderer Honda.
Inside or out, Billiards Plus has what you need for tailgating season. Fire up your new top-of-the-line grill for a perfect game day feast. Then keep the fun going inside with pool tables, shuffleboard, and more. Billiards Plus, the store you won't want to leave. Shop online or visit them on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
When your furnace or air conditioner stops working, you can always rely on Atlas Butler to get it up and running the same day. So why not depend on Atlas Butler for all your plumbing needs? Our expert plumbers can take care of anything from a clogged drain to a broken water heater. We work on all brands of water heaters and plumbing equipment. One call does it all.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Football season is here. Make sure your internet is ready. Kinetic's 100% fiber gives you the fast, reliable connection to enjoy live football on YouTube TV and watch up to 4 live games at once with Multiview. Check real-time stats and catch more big plays without missing a snap. Take your game watching to a whole new level. Switch to Kinetic. Save up to $120 on your first year of YouTube TV. Visit GoKinetic.com for details. Subject to availability and eligibility. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. Cancel anytime. Kinetic. Internet better.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT. Kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
The best words to hear at the TSA security checkpoint? You're good to go. All it takes is a little preparation. Get to the airport early. Bring a carry-on bag that fits in the overhead and have an acceptable ID. Not all state-issued IDs will cut it. Check out tsa.gov/ID and see which TSA acceptable IDs make the grade, like a real ID or passport.
Before you jet, do a little prep, and you're good to go. Check out tsa.gov/ID or the MyTSA app.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Helping a new driver get ready for their road test? Here's a convenient new way to make the most of your 50 hours of required practice driving time. The Road Ready Ohio app, available now at no cost to new drivers and their families. Road Ready Ohio keeps track of your driving experience together, providing feedback and safe driving tips. It even generates the documentation you need for the Ohio BMV. The Road Ready Ohio app, free to download in the Apple and Google App Stores.
Love football, love wings? Put those bad boys together and you get Austin and Byrne live at Roosters.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Large amounts of football and all the donkey sauce you can handle. Mondays on the Fans YouTube channel. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll enjoy a mostly sunny sky for the rest of your Friday. Good stuff out there with highs in the lower 80s. There's a tiny chance a shower could pop up. Overnight, mostly clear skies, lows back around 60. For your weekend, mostly sunny on Saturday, 83. Warmer on Sunday, sunshine, 87. For The Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Never have I been so excited to get a whiff of sweaty jock straps. It's Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Yay, football, The Fan. Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
All right, before we get back into some pre-snap reads, I want to tell you about the folks at the McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Great place to get a vehicle if you're looking for one. I was in that space about a year ago, and now I've been riding around Columbus, living my best life thanks to the McDaniel GM Superstore up in Marion. Check out their website. Over 200 new vehicles that you're going to love. They're going to treat you like family up there. I'm telling you, I'm not just lying to you. This isn't some radio guy just doing a BS advertisement. Take it from me. It's for real. I know my guy Big Mo is ready for you up there, as is his team. They have a 26 Suburban. You can save up to $10,000 off MSRP. So, again, not a long drive up there to Marion. Well worth the wait. Marion, the place is McDaniel GM Superstore. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Austin and I kind of laid out a Buckeye or two in the NFL that we can't wait to see ball out in year one. You had K-Mac, Caden McDonald on defense. I stayed on defense as well with Arvell Reese playing for now the New York Giants. Who you got next, my guy?
Let's switch it over to the offensive side, Maddie. And I think that Carnell Tate definitely deserved to be taken as early as he was in that first round. He's the best wide receiver in that class. But I am a Cam Ward skeptic. And so there was part of me that was hoping it wouldn't work out the way that it did with Tennessee.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's going to look like. I know that you can throw it anywhere within 8 feet of Carnell Tate's wingspan, and he's going to come down with that football, and he's going to get 2 feet down. We saw him do that time after time after time. He's got incredible ball skills. He's got spatial awareness. He understands route concepts. He can do anything that you want from the wide receiver position. But maybe I'll be wrong about Cam Ward. His rookie year went better than I thought it would. But I don't love that combination personally.
Yeah, Brian Daboll is the offensive coordinator. I think he's one of those guys that's better suited for that role than head coach. Right. But I understand where Cam Ward's bringing you some pause for sure. The only guy I think he's probably going to be competing with as far as high-end targets, Wan'Dale Robinson comes in. He was a Daboll guy in New York, so clearly he has a plan for him. But I'm sure the Titans are taking a deep breath because I'm sure there were some people in that building that maybe were Tyson guys, right? Coming out of Arizona State. You look at what's happening with him down there in New Orleans, opposite Chris Olave, and he's already dealing with a significant hamstring injury. And so that can bring them some ease there, but Carnell's going to do what we know he can do, right? And if Cam Ward's going to hold up his end of the bargain, there's probably going to be a decent amount of big plays coming from Carnell because that's what he showed last year is the toughness, catch point stuff, explosive playmaking ability. I think that's going to translate into the league.
Yeah, I just don't know really. And we can use the track record for Brian Daboll to see sort of what he wants to accomplish. And, there was conversation about him in December of last year, mentioning him as one of the ideal candidates for Ohio State in that offensive coordinator position. Mm-hmm. But I don't, does he have the ideal personnel to run what he wants to run? Does he trust Cam Ward enough? Otherwise it'd be easy to just pencil in Carnell and say, well, yeah, remember what Emeka did? Remember what Jackson did? Remember what, Marv has done, which again, there's some questions about Marv that people have coming out of training camp. I think he's going to be just fine personally based on, watching him work the level he did when he was in Columbus. I don't feel like that just disappeared once he got out there to Glendale. But I think when you're looking at Carnell, it is about the quarterback more than him because I don't have any uncertainty about what his ceiling is at the NFL level.
And Cam Ward better get going, man, because you look around that division, right? Trevor Lawrence found himself and then the back half of that year, and so they're expecting him to get right in the mix. CJ early on looked really good. He's got to reprove himself. Pretty interesting division as a whole, honestly, down there in the AFC South. Next one for me, I'm going with a former Buckeye head coach and running back. I'm going Travion Henderson this year. And what exactly is his role? It doesn't seem to me that they're going to hand him the keys to do everything. And I think that's okay, right? Especially early on in his career. You got Ramondre Stevenson in-house. But we saw here in Columbus, pass protection was good. Catching the rock was good, and obviously running the rock was good as well. They expect to contend. Can he be that running back that Vrabes turns to late in games and say, bring it home, milk the clock, move the chains for us? Just in year 2, bigger, stronger, faster. It sounds like he's gotten over the offseason. Going to be a dual threat running back duo between the two of them, but I hope they put more on his plate because I think he can handle it, and getting that guy in space, especially now, inside of an offense that has one of the most dangerous weapons on the outside that you have to worry about, and A.J. Brown, I think he's got more upside to him, and I think this guy is just on the rise.
It was weird, Maddie. It felt like, I don't remember when that couple-week stretch was for Travion, late November, early December, something around there. It was like, oh, New England's figured out how to use him and unleash that explosiveness and that incredible speed and acceleration that he's got. And then it just didn't really connect. It kept waiting even in the postseason. There's going to be opportunities. Maybe it'll be in the Super Bowl. And it did not happen. I just couldn't really figure out why. And I don't know if it was, nagging health concerns, still being a rookie, more faith in Ramondre Stevenson. But it's like when you're thinking about who's got more home run potential between those two, there's not really any debate in my mind. Could be just a little too close to the situation because I saw Travion half dozen times this summer working out at the Woody and putting in all those hours, and just I know that he's not getting cheated when it comes to that. He never has. I know how motivated he is to prove himself and to continue pushing forward. I hope it happens for him.
To your point, in the AFC Championship game in Denver, 3 carries in that one, and then in the Super Bowl, only 6. And so I don't know if that was the body wasn't feeling good. Vrabes lost a little trust. Maybe it was Josh McDaniels. I don't know, but definitely was odd. You got anybody else?
I'd like to see Caden Curry, if there is a full-time role for him in Indianapolis. He had a good preseason. He had a game with a couple sacks there. Would have been, speaking of guys who could have come back and maybe would have wanted to if the 5-for-5 nonsense had been pushed through earlier. I think he strongly would have considered that. And another year with Larry Johnson and Matt Patricia rather than, fighting to make the team as a 6th-round pick or whatever else is in front of him there. But he is such a relentless motor guy. And I know that he's going to do everything he possibly can to make an impact wherever he is. Thinking about, JT Tuimoloau on that line with Caden Curry as well. That's pretty fascinating. Gives you a reason to watch those Colts.
Last one for me, Quinshon Judkins, coming back from the injury. Trying to hop on this moving train, if you will, of these young playmakers up in Cleveland that I think are going to work out. Casey Concepcion, Denzel Boston. We saw Fannin last year come in from Bowling Green and go absolutely nuts in the NFL. But Quinshon, you could see it. The offensive line, I don't think, did their part a year ago, so I don't think that could put Quinshon in the light that we've seen him in here at Ole Miss and Ohio State. But just always coming back from injuries at that running back position in year 1's a bit of a question mark for me. And maybe he's young enough that won't matter, like an older running back that could affect him a little bit more, Austin. But, yeah, I'm very interested by Quinshon Judkins because he and Dylan Sampson out of Tennessee, I think they can play off each other pretty well. But Quinshon, I think, can be a pretty big workhorse in the league when he's feeling right. And I think Monken can lean on him with his physicality and his explosiveness, too.
I hope the Browns are just careful with the usage of him. And I know that this is antithetical to trying to win games in the NFL, but
antithetical, siren worthy, A-Dub. Cole and I looked at each other right away. It's good. Right away when you said it.
You know that they're not going to be in contention. Not in the division, not to make the playoffs. They're nowhere near. And if you're trying to get ready to draft at the top of the 2027 in the first round to get a quarterback, if you have any doubt whatsoever, Quinshon showed in year 1 what his ceiling can be.
Yeah.
Take it easy. I know that just sounds crazy. I know that he wants to compete as well. And the Browns are certainly going to try and win games. I don't know why they would. But I hope that they don't find themselves rehashing what happened at the end of year 1 because he did take a ton of carries throughout his college career.
Here's my fear, because I like where your head's in that. With that, I don't think Monken's going to trust either one of these quarterbacks to just air it out all the time.
That's the problem. Too many carries.
Yes, I think that's what's going to make Monken feel better is the run game, play action off of that, sprinkle in Fannin and these young wide receivers. If they had the quarterback like a Burrow Dak, somebody like that to hold it down, and he can
literally
do that. Anybody, then I think you could get what you want. But I'm thinking it's going to go the other way because Monken's going to be like, man, this is a safe option for us
it's
week in
the
and week
only
out.
path forward.
Yeah.
That's my exact concern.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
coming off of those injuries, I would just be extra cautious, and I know that that's not the way that NFL competitors think, but it's probably what's best for him.
Speaking of Todd Monken, I want to squeeze this in real quick. It looks like in the system he was asked about maybe keeping all 4 quarterbacks after last night's game. Let's hear this.
Sure. We had that's why we played both of them, right? That's why we played them, to try and help us a little bit in terms of where we're at from a roster standpoint. So we got a lot to talk about because I thought they both did some really good things. I really think the way they played was how I thought they'd play, right? Dylan really within himself, very poised. And then Talon was going to have some splash plays, some plays where you get him on the perimeter and use his athleticism as you keep working to refine his throwing ability, not throwing, but his passing, right? So again, it was fun to watch him play, but just like every position, we're going to have to cut it down. That's just, we can't keep everybody.
So we'll see what they do there. It sounds like maybe in Pittsburgh, Will Howard has a chance to hang on because Mike McCarthy, it doesn't seem like he's slamming the door on keeping 4 over there either. And I know Will left with a concussion yesterday, so we'll see how that affects things. But a couple different scenarios in the AFC North to where maybe 2 teams keep 4 this season.
I mean, it makes more sense for Cleveland than it might for Pittsburgh, but it's the one that's actually going to do it might be not who you think.
Coming up in 2 minutes, our guy Jensen Lewis, he'll stop by. We'll talk everything Guardians, Reds, and Major League Baseball. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Let me tell you one of the reasons I think we became the largest injury firm in the world, and it's not even close. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My wife and I had a plan early on. In our firm, our lawyers only work on certain types of cases. Our products liability and dangerous drug lawyers only work on those cases. Same for car crashes, workers' compensation, medical malpractice, and insurance disputes. Our thinking is for these lawyers to focus on one area of the law and live it and breathe it. Power comes from knowledge. Many lawyers do everything, jack of all trades. Not us. And we don't charge an hourly rate. You only pay us if we win. If you want to hire us, it's easy. Dial Pound Law on your cell phone, pound 529, or visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer from the comfort of your own home. Let us get to work for you. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Common Man here for Germain Hyundai, where right now $99 a month gets you your choice of a 2026 Hyundai Elantra or a 2026 Hyundai Kona. A brand new Hyundai for just $99 a month. And only at Germain, get free gas for 3 months. And with Germain's $1,000 price promise, no one will sell you a Hyundai for less. Find your $99 Hyundai today at GermainHyundai.com. With approved credit, Elantra $44.95 down, Kona $39.95 down, plus tax, title, first month's payment, 7,500 miles per year, ends 8/31.
Enough already.
We can do more.
Enough already. We can find a cure.
Enough already.
We can do better for our kids.
Enough already. We are relying on you.
We can come together to support Children's Cancer Research Fund, a national nonprofit dedicated to ending childhood cancer that is on the front line of breakthroughs. Because
it's enough already.
Go to childrenscancer.org today.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Now you can watch Rothman and Ice.
Go to YouTube and search 97.1 The Fan.
Rothman is wearing the pancake makeup, so you might as well watch. Back to Rothman and Ice.
Welcome back into Rothman and Ice. We do it every Friday at this time. It's time to lock in on all things Major League Baseball with the one and only Jensen Lewis, MLB Network Radio, VSiN Live. J. Lou, welcome back in, brother. How you feeling?
We are almost there, my friend. Final weekend of August, and can't believe we're already here. Sprint to the finish. Looking forward to it.
Should be a fun weekend up in Cleveland. Guardians, winners of 7 in a row. 2 games up on the Texas Rangers in the wild card race. And here comes the Kansas City Royals, J. Lou, and they're 9-1 over their last 10 games. So this should be a fun one this weekend.
Yeah, and Kansas City playing their best baseball of the year, and of course, perfect timing. It's going to feel like October with these two teams the way they're going right now, and all kinds of October implications. Make no mistake, Kansas City has really been pitching well, but the offense, as evidenced over the weekend, or at least leading into the weekend, for what they did north of the border, you are going to have to contend with a pretty hot Vinny Pasquantino. Jack Caglione, after getting banged up a couple of days earlier in the week, had himself a great series finale. And, of course, always looking at what Bobby Witt Jr. can do. To me, Matty, when you look at the lineup, it's the top 4 to 5 guys that have been really good. And Kyle Isbell at the bottom, kind of been a little sneaky dude that's been able to turn some things over to the top of the lineup, giving him some extra cracks at it. You're going to get the 3 big starters here in Michael Wacha, Daniel Lynch, and Seth Lugo, the probables for this series. So guards better be rocking and rolling. They did what they had to do. You always love it when you can sweep a road trip taking care of business against the Rockies and the Angels. And the way they did it, Matty, I think is more important. You had a couple of comeback wins late. You had an extra inning win. I think you have to feel ultra confident if you're the Guardians headed into this weekend.
Where's your concern level with Chase DeLauder and just the body and all that right now? You feel good about where he's at the moment, how they're managing that?
They're doing. That's the perfect word, though. They are trying to manage it, and I can understand where, because every game is so critical, Matty, that you're trying to maximize potential here, but also minimize further injury risk. And I think that's going to be the delicate ballet that you're going to have. Now, yesterday's off day, awesome, massive. Needed that. Get in, get some treatment. And then remember, they're going to have an off day on Monday, too. So I would expect you'll probably see them use the DH at some points to try and keep him off his feet and try and give him as good a runway to try and get back to as close to 100% as he possibly can.
If we were doing a shortstop draft, would Bobby Witt be your 1-1?
If we're starting... Are you saying if we start a franchise today...
And you needed a shortstop, everybody's available. Would you take Bobby Witt over everybody else in the sport?
Yeah, I mean, Ellie, obviously, I'm going to tickle your fancy with Ellie and what he does. And that in and of its own right is pretty good. C.J. Abrams, probably for what he did this year, is good. But, yeah, I think it's unquestionable just with what... not only the 5-tool nature of Bobby Witt Jr., but it's the presence and it's the leadership, face of the franchise kind of stuff there. Another, ho-hum 6.5 wins above replacement year on his way to probably getting to 8 by the time the season's over. So just a remarkable talent. And regardless of the record, you would never know it the way he plays the game.
No doubt. We're talking all things Major League Baseball with our guy, Jensen Lewis, right here on Rothman Ice. Let's go down to Cincinnati. I think the 2 bright spots this year have been Ellie, as you mentioned, and Sal Stewart. First in the clubhouse to 100 RBIs is Sal Stewart in the entire sport this season. So just a middle-of-the-order bat. Seems like this is going to be year in and year out. And what I like about him, too, J. Lou, is he's got some flair to his game, right? We've seen he get out there, he'll talk some trash, he'll let you know about it and all that. But 100 RBIs, the first guy to do it in Major League Baseball in 2026. It's cool stuff for him.
Yeah, and how about the top 3 RBI guys in the sport today? You would never have guessed Sal Stewart is a rookie, Alec Burleson and Jordan Walker. Those are all 3 of the guys from the NL Central, and there's no chance anyone has a ticket right now on either of those 3 to lead the league in runs batted in. But as far as Sal Stewart goes, he's going to get to 30 homers, maybe an outside shot of running down 35. The way he's going right now, you would imagine 120 RBI could certainly be on the table. And I wonder if that's going to be enough offensively when you look at the National League Rookie of the Year. Again, you're going to have this argument of should it be, a lot of wins above replacement heavy. If you're going that route, that's going to be J.J. Weatherholt. And Carson Benj, has made his way into that conversation now. But a rookie with 100 stakes, and he's going to get more, and when the calendar hasn't turned to September yet, Matty, that's heady stuff, man. That is rare air for what this kid has done.
It's big time. There's no doubt about it. Reds in Chicago this weekend taking on the Cubbies. All right, let's go over to Detroit because I know where I'm going to be come 6:40, and that's watching Tarek Skubal go back to Detroit for the first time. I'm sure his emotions are going to be all over the place, but kind of set the scene and maybe what you think he's going through going up against his old squad this evening.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be. It's not just another start, and you know the landscape of how this trade came down. He was public about wanting to stay in Detroit, wanted to see this thing through. Detroit had to do the right thing, both in short term and long term, for the club to continue to be viable and a contender. But I think situationally tonight, I wouldn't mind taking the Tigers to spoil the party. I think that they, even though it's probably lopsided looking at Tarek Skubal against Drew Anderson, let me take the team that feels like they're trending in a better direction. Remember, the Dodgers coming off getting swept and shut out last night, the brilliance of Chris Sale on display. Well, they got to try and get it back going in what will be a sold-out house tonight, what will be a hostile environment. And Detroit, everything to play for. I mean, the urgency is certainly there for the Tigers. They'll begin play 5.5 out of a wild card spot. They're 8-2. Excuse me, they're 2-8 in their last 10. I mean, it's not only a must-win series to kind of get momentum back, but I think they got a good shot to do it tonight. I do think emotion is going to play, and no guy that ever goes back and faces his old mates, regardless of spring training, regular season, what have you, there is going to be a heartbeat that he has not experienced before. I think Detroit capitalizes early, and I think their bullpen gets it home.
You mentioned the series against the Braves. That was amazing down there in Atlanta, man. It just felt like an NLCS, preview, if you will, when you look at some of the top dogs in the league on that side of the sport. Brewers, Braves, Cubs, Phillies. Who in your mind is the biggest threat to the Dodgers?
Yeah, the Phillies have started to kind of enter the chat for me. And obviously their rotation, Wick, Christopher Sanchez, Luzardo, Wheeler, the back end of their bullpen has been really dynamic. I have a big future. I have over 100 to 105 to 1 future on the Phillies to win the World Series. That's parlayed with our great friends of Spain winning the World Cup. So that's leg number 2 to get home. I think that Atlanta deserves more respect than what they're getting. And again, just take the head-to-head. Obviously, the Dodgers not at full strength, but still doesn't matter. You've got to be able to win the head-to-heads, period. And Milwaukee, did they get better? And you and I have had this conversation with AR too, is when you look at the pecking order, when everyone's healthy, and I think you've got a chance for most of these clubs to be there at the end of the year, the Dodgers still have the best pitching staff. Great pitching beats great hitting. Will Milwaukee or Philadelphia have enough offense to push through and punch through what that Dodger staff is going to look like? Because you got to imagine there's going to be an odd man out in that rotation that slides to the bullpen. Is it Tyler Glass now? Will Ohtani just come back and be a reliever? Heck, they might even just leave him as a closer, depending on what he looks like in September. So, if you're giving me an order, I would still say Atlanta slightly over Philadelphia and Milwaukee, but there's not a lot of daylight in between those three there, Matty.
The Milwaukee Brewers with the best record in the entire sport. And just in watching them year in and year out, Pat Murphy just has a well-oiled machine. Is he about to grab this manager of the year award, or is there somebody else that you're looking at that maybe you like a little bit more?
Well, I think Walt Weiss is definitely going to get some run there, and he should for what he's done in year one. Heck, Craig Stammen, with where the Padres. Remember, the Padres were kind of left for dead at the beginning of the season and even into the All-Star break a bit. They have turned it around in a big way. If the Padres punch their ticket to the postseason, he'll get a look. Torey Lovullo for the Diamondbacks. No one thought at the All-Star break they would have a chance, and they're right in the fight here. You look at three-peats in this award category, very hard to do. I don't even know if it's ever happened before. But I would say my front runner would be Walt Weiss with what he's done, all the injuries. And I think a close second right in between Craig Stammen of San Diego and if the Arizona Diamondbacks qualify, I'd say Torey Lovullo should get a lot of run as well.
All right, give us a series to look out for this weekend. One series outside of the Guardians and the Reds that you think people should be honing in on that's got playoff implications or just some juicy storylines going on.
Yeah, I think it's right in the Central. It's the White Sox and the Twins. I think this is the final stand for Minnesota as far as where the AL Central goes. I do like them tonight. They are going to get Walker Jenkins, their top prospect, promoted to the big league club. He has been terrorizing AAA pitching, and they need an offensive infusion. So this is put up or shut up time as far as Minnesota having any shot to be in the AL Central conversation.
Jensen, you're the best, man. We will talk to you next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and getting down to it, brother. This is the best part of the year.
Yes, kickoff next week, brother. Cannot wait. We'll be talking some pigskin here soon.
No doubt. Cannot wait. He's our guy, Jensen Lewis. We do it every Friday right here on Rothman and Ice at 2:30. We'll hit the finish line of the show next. We'll tell the truth. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
This is 100% employee-owned now. It gives them a sense of pride.
It's always been a family business. We've benefited as owners from the work of all of these great employees for so long. Well, now everybody's an owner, so now everybody has a stake. It really is the culmination of the family business. The family just got bigger. We all know there's a difference between working for a paycheck and working for something that belongs to you.
Call Rizzotti today at 777-4806.
Yes, the 4th of July fireworks may be over, but the festivities for America's 250th birthday are still in full swing. Because at America 250 Ohio, we're honoring both America and our state with hundreds of events in all 88 Ohio counties. From historic talks to Ohio-related films to driving trails of discovery. So go to America250Ohio.org to find an event near you. Because there's never been a better time to honor this amazing place we all call home. Sponsored by the Ohio History Connection, aired by the OAB and this station.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 on 1460 AM, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday morning at 9 on 1460 AM.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all of these rain chances going up. We're already tracking a few severe thunderstorm warnings.
We do have team coverage for you this morning, tracking outages and flooding.
Difficult for people to get out of their homes right now. Flood waters up to their knees.
Did you see that car?
Yes.
The wind flipped it over.
This is huge. The wind must have been so strong to rip this up out of the ground and take some of the sidewalk with it.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on the 10 TV app.
Coghlan Kia of Dublin is now open, and we're offering grand opening savings at all 4 Coghlan Kia locations. Get 0% financing on select new 26 Kia Sportage and Sorento. Pay 0 out of pocket when you lease a new 27 Seltos or 26 Sportage for $375 a month for 36 months. Get grand opening savings at Coghlan Kia. Coghlan has the car for you.
With approved credit, 0% for 48 months equals $20.83 per 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Leases include 10,000 miles per year with 20 cents per mile over penalty. Excludes tax, title, and registration. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 8/31/26.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Football season is here. Make sure your internet is ready. Kinetic's 100% fiber gives you the fast, reliable connection to enjoy live football on YouTube TV and watch up to 4 live games at once with Multiview. Check real-time stats and catch more big plays without missing a snap. Take your game watching to a whole new level. Switch to Kinetic. Save up to $120 on your first year of YouTube TV. Visit GoKinetic.com for details. Subject to availability and eligibility. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. Cancel anytime. Kinetic. Internet better.
On this episode of Science Stuff, we're examining the fastest things on the planet. Like the cheetah. It can reach a land speed of over probably having an off day happens to everybody, but here is the American race car. People love the thrill of the... Okay. Next up is the Falcon. Oh, all right. Oh, Great Caesar's ghost, what was that? Why, I think we've found the fastest... Let's watch in slow motion.
Hi, it's Alex, the friendly Apex Pros.
It's Apex Pros, the pros who knows. They're the fastest thing on the planet. When you have a problem with your plumbing, furnace, air conditioner, or electrical system, Apex Pros gets to you faster than apparently everything. Leaves are blown from trees. Paint is stripped from buildings. Mothers clutch their children's hands. Because when you have something broken in your plumbing, HVAC, or electrical, you don't want to wait.
Columbus loves Apex Pros. ApexPros.com.
Cheetah Green with Skip Mosick.
Saturday, it's our season finale. We're at the OSU Golf Club to preview next month's Nationwide Children's Championship at the Scarlet Course.
Cheetah Green with Skip Mosick. Saturday mornings at 9 on The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Columbus, Worthington, Air, and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman Ice.
Sponsored by McDaniel GM Superstore. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
TLC, my guy, it's your time. Take us to the crib. What do you got cooked up and tell the truth on this Friday, my man?
So we had some breaking news during the show that there is a 4-star quarterback that committed to Delaware.
The Fighting Joe Flacco's?
Correct.
Did he endow a scholarship there?
I have no idea.
No, I'm just teasing.
Where did Joe Flacco go before he transferred to Delaware?
Eastern.
He threw one pass for this school, and it was an interception.
You ran this by me before.
I have ran this by you before.
And it's a pretty prominent program, isn't it?
It's one we've heard of. It's not like
not a big time, not a big dog. Why do I have Pitt in my mind?
I'm not answering until you lock in an answer, because I don't want to
I have no confidence in this.
I don't want to cut you off like mid thought, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, that wasn't my answer. So I'm backing off until you submit an answer.
Dang, because you told me this before.
He's putting you to the test, man.
I'm gonna lock in Pitt, but that's not it. No confidence.
We signed up to get concussions.
It's Pitt.
It is. Okay. It is Pitt. Okay, there it is.
I didn't want to lead the witness for you.
Thank you.
By the way, it's been a minute. Can your boy get his theme music? I haven't heard that in a long time since I got that right. Go ahead and drop my
whoops, I clicked the
drop
wrong
that track,
key.
DJ.
We're all just DJs over here.
I guess get you some Gucci Man in your life, Austin. I never hurt nobody.
How could it?
So anyway, without knowing a single thing about this guy, his upbringing, where he's from, or anything like that, will this 4-star actually hold his commitment to Delaware?
What type of money they throwing at him, A-Dub?
I want to say that he will. And here's the thing. If you're trying, this is a new way of fast-tracking your NIL. If you go get experience at a lower level, I know that it's not going to be the same for the 5 stars and reclassification guys. Notre Dame's throwing around money to do that with a couple of cases. That's fine. That's their blueprint. But what a lot of the programs are looking for now, do you have experience at the college level? And if you could bridge that between high school and the highest level of the Big Ten or anywhere in the FBS Power 4, that can be an intriguing option. It's a different path. It's new. But I'd say I don't know anything about him. You didn't tell me.
Julian Steele.
Julian
from
Steele.
Texas.
Okay.
I mean, he sounds like a quarterback. Give him that.
He really does. It's a great name. Julian Steele from Texas. And hit me with your exact question again.
Will this 4-star QB hold his commitment to Delaware?
I think he will, but I don't think he's going to be there for 3 years or anything like that. I think it's one and done at Delaware that he's elsewhere if he plays well.
Yeah, if they're telling him, we believe in you and you can play here as a true freshman, come help us. The plan is certainly not to think that you're going to get year 2 or year 3 out of that. And I think that would be, we might be seeing more of this in the future.
I'm going to look up what conference they're in because I forget.
What are they, the Blue Hens?
The Delaware Blue Hens.
Conference USA. They made their way up to FBS either last year or the year before. Or maybe now. I don't know. But they're D1.
Okay.
Like actual D1, not just FCS now. Have you or would you ever walk out of a movie theater if you weren't enjoying it?
Absolutely. I walked out of a movie theater about a year ago. It was a Nicole Kidman movie. It was it Baby Boy or something like that? Some Nicole Kidman movie that was just
Baby Girl, was it?
What was the movie she dropped?
It was Baby Girl.
Baby Girl, is that it? Yeah, that one, that didn't hit. And I'm usually in on a lot of what Nicole Kidman
I think I've
cooks up.
heard of the movie Baby Boy, like Tyrese Gibson.
Yes, okay, that's what I had in my mind.
I've heard of that.
So that's what I was thinking. But no, Baby Girl, Nicole Kidman ate up. I was out of there, man, in 45 minutes.
Oh, that early
Less
call.
than an hour. Just nothing was happening. I was like, you know what? I'd rather go home and watch reruns of, I don't know, Big Brother or Vanderpump Rules or something like that.
I have done it exactly one time. And I've since rewatched this movie and it made it through. It is more of a cult favorite. It'll surprise you, Maddie. I walked out of 300 the first time that I saw it.
Really?
I was
So
like,
not the second one, but the first one.
The original 300.
Wow. Okay.
I was like, I think I'm good here.
Oh. So have you seen?
I have watched it.
Okay.
And I've actually watched it multiple times.
Okay, good.
I don't know what happened on that day. Maybe I was hangry or what. It was with, my ex-girlfriend. Maybe she did something. I blocked out the reason, but I'm like,
About to say, it was
I just went out to
almost
the car.
500 million at box office, so it's not like it was some
I know. That's why I said you won't even believe it when I say it, but it was the 300.
Man, I've seen that movie so many times. It's an incredible movie, start to finish.
Movie, yeah.
I mean, him just kicking the dude.
Wasn't
that bad.
Whatever was going on, it was not resonating. It was probably her though. I'm going to blame her.
Yeah, for sure.
Deal. Have you or would you ever send a meal back to the kitchen?
Mr. Foodie over here.
It would have to be so bad.
They know his order, so there's no need.
TLC, it'd have to be so bad. Like I'm talking, like
the taste testers.
If I
You should
order,
have a column in the Dispatch reviewing restaurants.
Say, sign me up. You heard the man. I'll do it. If I ordered, let's say, like a medium well steak.
Yeah.
And that thing came to my table, I cut into it, and there was just blood oozing out of that thing, then I would have to send it back. If there was a little blood, I'd be okay. So it would have to be pretty extreme, like a completely wrong order.
Completely wrong order.
Or
You gotta send that back.
the example of my steak for me to run it back.
Yeah. Not because of I just don't think this tastes very good.
Right.
That's on me for making a wrong menu choice, or I'm not coming back to this place ever again because it was so bad.
Are you a guy that likes to explore other items, or like a restaurant you go to usually? Or do you stay with the same things you usually get?
I am now old enough that I need routine.
Okay.
I crave consistency, and I want to know that I'm getting my money's worth. Like the rest of my family, they're talking about like holiday stuff. Let's go try this new place. I'm like, why would you do that? If it's supposed to be a celebration, like, don't you want to be sure this is going to be good?
Yeah.
And now that tells me how old I am.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
All right, now how about this?
Yeah.
What if you're going through a drive-through and they hand you the bag and you look inside and it's way more food than you ordered, and so oh, this is the car behind me's food. You driving off?
No, I wouldn't do that.
You'd say, hey,
I think that's
somebody else ordered, this is like 4 people's food.
For sure. Because what am I going to do with it anyway? You know what I mean? It's probably something I don't like since I'm super picky
and then microwave
anyway.
it tomorrow.
No, I'd hand it back.
Yeah, well, what if they ordered Hawaiian pizza?
Exactly. You taking that to the crib? No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Oh, you are?
You can pick it off.
So you're like, oh.
The fruit soaks into the crust and ruins it.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Interesting point you bring up.
Hey, we got to roll. There's Tell the Truth
Goodbye.
for today.
The cane just came out and got me.
Hey, Doug, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be having you in studio on Tuesdays at 2:30. Folks, we appreciate your time as always. You miss anything from our show, don't worry. You can always catch up wherever you get your podcast. Just type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3. We'll be waiting there for you. Common Man and Timmy coming up next. Don't move. They'll take it at 6 o'clock. It is a go to jail Friday. And folks, when we come back on Monday, it's time to get it popping. It's officially a game week. Have a great weekend. We love you. Stay safe. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.